Okay. I can't tell whether I'm streaming or not. Oh, so you can see me then. I'm using a new. Let me see. Yeah, let me turn that. Okay, I'm using a new. Uh, I'm using Streamlabs, so y'all have to forgive me because I am slow and technically illiterate. I keep saying that I'm technically illiterate. Hey, Mrs. Queen, how are you today? I probably should have used my microphone. Can y'all hear me okay? Cause I listened to the last vid and I was going in and out because I'm using the microphone for the camera. I probably should have used the microphone my son bought me. That's what I wanted to do. Uh, let's see. Maybe I should get it. Yeah. That's right. Hey, strong and humble. Oh my God. Class right now. Where's the class right now? Look, there's a bunch of class right now. Okay. I probably should have used my microphone, but there's so much stuff here. I wouldn't I'm not gonna deal with that now because I would have to set that up and everything. And it's like I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. Um, how's everybody doing this evening? Y'all like my earrings? My youngest son bought these for me years ago for Mother's Day when he was still in high school. He got this out the dollar store. I still got everything that child got me out the dollar store and the bubblegum machine, okay? I still have everything, boy, I tell you. So, can y'all hear me all right? Just put a one in there if you can. Um, okay, let me see. Testing, testing. Let's see it moving. All right. I have the AC on. That's probably why I wanted to use the microphone because it's like a noise reduction. He bought me a good microphone. I probably should be using it next time. I will. I'll make sure to put it in. So I'm using Streamlabs, and I don't know why it says it's not even supposed to say that powered by Melon. I paid for that, so it's not even supposed to show. And it looks like it's showing. All right, I need to ask them about that because I did pay for it just to try it out for the month. So I don't even know why it has that on there. I don't know if I can take it off or what. I don't know. I got to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out which set I want to use. Okay. Um, I wanted to talk today about Sodom and Gomorrah, but I didn't really want to focus on the men part of it. I wanted to focus on the woman side of Sodom and Gomorrah and the symbolism in it, right? Hmm. I wanted to talk about that. I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with the Sodom and Gomorrah story about I think it was Lot who was a descendant of Abraham. Well, most of the people that they speak about in the Bible, even though it is different nations that is discussed, but a lot of the focus is on the Abrahamic descendants, right? Abra, Abraham. It's actually a compound word, Abra or Abraham, right? I study the etymology of words, like where they come from, breaking them down and things like that. Is it this one? Let's see. Yeah, let me pull that up because I want to share it. How? Oh my God. Oh my God. I want to be white, y'all. I want to be white. I want to be white. I want to be white. Oh my God, I want to be white. Because it's nice. White is right. I'm telling you, I want to be white. I ain't black no more. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I ain't black no more. Okay? I ain't black no more. And I damn sure ain't divested. I ain't black. I want to be white. I don't want no white man. I don't want no white penis. I just want to be white. I want legislation in this country to make my American Negro ass white. That's it. They make me white, I can get all the privileges. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Healing Arts. Nice to see you here. I'm glad you made it in. I'm glad you made it. I want to be white, y'all. I want to be white. I want to be white. Child, I want to be white. I'm going to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah today. There's a lot of things always going on in New York because New York is a very political place. Oh yeah, my Mayan Oracle cards. I have two separate decks. These are what it looked like, y'all. If you can see them, these are what it looked like. I have two. Well, I have three decks, but two of them are the same. And the reason being is that one is an older deck. It's like the first edition, and the second one is not. It's like the newer version. But the newer version, it's not in color. It's like black and white. The first edition I have is in color. So I just wanted to show y'all those two. The Mayan Oracle cards. It's like I said, it's nothing like the tarot. It's not about like fortune telling. You know what I'm saying? This is my second deck. I love these. My second deck. It's nothing like fortune telling, but I'm gonna get into that in another video. I want to talk about that in another video because I'm gonna use that as part of my tool in spiritual coaching. The Mayan Oracle. It's return to the path of the stars. You know, like I said before, I'm a 9 ether evolving God being. return to the path of the stars and the galactic light. I always say I'm not here for brownie points. Some people do things they call good deeds because they're trying to get brownie points, right? They want brownie points because I guess they believe in the afterlife and they believe that they're gonna go to a better place if they do a lot of good things, but they're not doing those good things out of their heart. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it to get brownie points. So that I'm just telling you now, if you're like the person to do that, it's not gonna count. It's not gonna count, okay? Trust me, it's not gonna count. But like I always said, I do things like without thinking. Like, I do things that other people would consider benevolent without thinking about it. It's nothing for me, and I don't brag about it. I don't go around like, oh, remember what I did for you? Anybody says that to you, they're that's that kind of person. They didn't do it out the kindness of their heart. Because somebody who does it out the kindness of their heart, they'll forget about it. Because I always forget about shit. And somebody will come to me like 3 years later trying to pay me back. Well, like, damn, I don't forgot about that. Nah, don't do it for me. Next time somebody come to you for help, you help them out. That's how you pay me back. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't forgot what I did for you. It's not even necessary. But somebody who will be in your face, well, I did this for you and I did that for you. And I know a lot of people like that. They didn't do it out the goodness of their heart. They just did it to get brownie points. And I'm telling you, if you believe in the afterlife, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you're doing, it's not going to work because the Council of Galactic Elders, they see right through that shit. They already know. They're already keeping points. They're already counting for you, so you don't even have to count. Don't ask me how I know this. I just know this, and I do know when my time comes and I'm before the Council of Galactic Elders, and they're gonna be like, "Bitch, what you been doing that's so good?" I'm gonna be like, I don't even remember." But let's talk about all the good times I had. That I do remember. I remember all the fun I had. You want to talk about that? That's what I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, those are the mind cards. I did want to bring up. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, the gentrifier who murdered Jordan Neely on the subway. He not a GoFundMe. He didn't get a GoFundMe fund. It's another fund because I think GoFundMe like discriminates on you know what causes are on their website and what money is collected for. So he wouldn't have been able to get that money collected on a GoFundMe. It's some other alternative crowdfunding that they have and that they use. He got $1.9 million for his defense. He was donated $1.9 million. I want to be white. I want to be white. He was donated $1.9 million, y'all. $1.9 million. His attorney said that it will go to his defense to defend him, and what is left, the leftovers, will go to help the mentally ill in New York. Okay, and another thing in New York that had happened, it was this white lady. I think they kind of like blew it out of proportion. She's a physician assistant. She's not a nurse. A physician assistant is like a doctor. They can prescribe you medication. They can order laboratory tests and medical tests. They can do all of that under the supervision of a doctor. And they get paid very handsomely. So she's not a nurse. They were saying that she was a nurse, but she's not a nurse. She's a physician's assistant, and she works for at Bellevue Hospital, which is in the East Village in Manhattan. So I think they kind of like blew that out of proportion. And I just say that because I feel for her because the lady was pregnant She was pregnant, and I know when I was all the times that I was pregnant, I was very hormonal. Nobody liked to be around me. Nobody, nobody, not my baby daddy, not my family, nobody. Nobody liked to be around me while I was pregnant. Now, while I was pregnant, I didn't see it that way. I didn't think I was so bad, but everybody who like really, really knew me and really knew the kind of person that I really was like, no, you can't come around me right now. You gotta go stay in your own space. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of feel for her because she was pregnant. So, I'm gonna give her that benefit of the doubt that she was very hormonal, and the way she was acting was because of those hormones. I think they kind of like blew it out of proportion. But the thing with the city bike thing, it's a lot of glitches with that. My sons, before they got their driver's license, they had accounts with a city bike. It's like this app you put on your phone, right? And the city, you can rent a bike, a regular bike, an e-bike, um, and a scooter. You can even rent a scooter, and yeah, those scooters that you sit on, those electric scooters, you can rent those through the city, and they have them all propped up on the sidewalk. Now, I don't know about the other boroughs, but I know in Manhattan, they're like all over the place. Because I live in Manhattan. I rarely leave Manhattan. Like, I really, really, really leave Manhattan. I probably should to go food shopping because the food prices here are very expensive compared to the other boroughs, but I'm just so used to it that it doesn't like it. I don't really see a difference, even when they keep saying it's inflation. I mean, a loaf of bread was already expensive here. You know what I'm saying? So, but they're all over in Manhattan. My sons both used to have accounts with them. It's something that you put on your app, and um, you like reserve a bike or a scooter. You can reserve it depending, and then you reserve it because it has like a GPS, and you reserve the one that's closest to you. And sometimes, because I'm gonna just be totally honest, the applications with New York City, whoever does their websites and whoever does their apps are really like a third grader can do a better job. I know like some little black boys in the third grade that could do a way better job and more professional than what their city websites are. I don't know who they hire to do them, but they really suck. They like trash. Like my son say trash. But their apps, a lot of times there's glitches in it. So when you reserve a bike, it could be like, and if you didn't get it at that certain time, it will like either like how you say like cut you off, or it won't cut you off. It depends, because there's glitches in it. But anyway, I think that was just a total misunderstanding because of the city's trash technology and their trash. I think that was just a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. Because if you saw the video and if you saw the Jewish guy come by, when she was calling for help, and you saw the Jewish guy come by, he was like, and he was telling the young man, he was like, just what he said, reload it or something that you got to do to like uh read something. Like he could have done something on an app, some technical thing. I don't know, but if you go back and watch the video, you'll see. And he asked him to do that, and the guy was like, "No, fuck that. I'm not gonna do that. She got to do that or whatever." But it's a glitch. And anyway, I just wanted to say that I think that was a big misunderstanding. I don't think it should have been blown out of proportion. But now, see, I want to be white because now they calling her Cameron, right? She has receipts that she rented the bike, put it on reserve, but he does too. Like I said, the city, their apps, their system, everything is trash. Is trash. I don't even use their websites for anything. I do everything in person because I know their their system is trash. Right? It's just trash. Well, she has. Let me see. Can I share this? Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can share the screen. Okay. Okay, I can. I just didn't know how to do it. Sorry, y'all. I'm just slow. I'm technically illiterate. Well, this chick has a damn GoFundMe, and I want to be white. Oh my God, I want to be white. I'm not black no more. I'm not black no more. She has a GoFundMe, and within less than 24 hours, she raised like $80,000. I was checking it this morning. When I checked it, it was only like at 10,000. And then when I checked it this evening, it's already like $90,000. Can y'all see that? My girl got $90,000 to say that she's not a Karen. Can y'all see that? Hey, let me see. Let me see. I don't think it's being shared. Let me see. What am I doing wrong? Hmm. Uh, I don't know. I don't know why it's not working. What am I doing wrong? Okay. I probably should have stuck with what I already knew. I don't know what's up. Were y'all able to see that? Let me try it again. Okay, I'm trying to share it. I don't know if it's working. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see this? Okay, now I can see it. Okay, now I can see it. Yeah, now I can see it. Right? So, oh gosh, y'all, let me see. Because I want y'all to see this whole thing. Help Sarah Comrie fight being branded a Karen. She got a GoFundMe this morning when I checked, or yesterday morning when I checked. It was only $10,000. Tonight is $90,000, and she needs to raise $95,000 goal. So she's going to be able to take some good time off of her work. Um, so if y'all want to donate and contribute to her GoFundMe, you go to her GoFundMe, Sam Comrie, okay, and you can contribute, especially everybody out there that's supporting her. because, whatever, go ahead and send her some money. Hook her up right now. That's what y'all do. I want to be white. Boy, I tell you, I want to be white. Anonymous donated $2,000 here. Recent donation, $20. Oh my gosh. And that's not even tax deductible. Boy, I tell you. Boy, I tell you. And she only got 2,500 people donated, which totaled up to $90,000, y'all. One thing I want to say about white people, they stick together. Anytime they call the racist, I remember one time this old white lady, I think, was fired from her job as secretary for what you call them people? Some people that be pledging a fraternity at a white college, that something happened. They were being sued for some racist stuff. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think they were in blackface or something. I don't know. But they were disbanded, and because they were disbanded, the secretary, old white lady, lost her job because her job was their secretary. And her GoFundMe, white people stick together. Her GoFundMe was like $500,000 in less than 3 days. I want to be white. I don't want to be black. I want to be, well, I ain't black no more. I want to be white. I want to be white. Okay? Okay. There's one other thing that I wanted to share too. Because I spoke about it in my last live, Queen of Heaven and Earth live. I spoke about that because my son, he's a genius. And when he decided to go back to school, so he can just leave, and be a productive citizen, a global productive citizen, it's like we were talking about. Google, Meta, Amazon hire low-paid foreign workers after U.S. layoffs. And the thing about this is that they can hire them remotely, like I was talking about in my last video. And they can hire them for like them H-1B visas. They can hire them for like $3 an hour. They don't even have to pay them what they have to pay an American citizen for the same job. You know what I'm saying? And this is sad. This is very sad. I know Antonio Moore did a video about the go-to jobs for Black people or American descendants of slavery in this country. They were totally going high-tech, robotic. Like he was talking about a damn McDonald's in Texas that only has a drive-through and it's all robotic. It's no people working there. They don't have to pay anybody a salary. And that's sad because, like he was saying, that's like a go-to job. I'm not gonna front. My first job was not working at a fast food restaurant, but for a lot of American descendants of slavery, that's their first job: fast food restaurant or some type of service job, waiting on somebody to serve somebody. Fast food, cashier at a deli or something like that. A service job. And what he was saying is right. I know it wasn't my first job, and I've been working since I was 14 years old, and minimum wage was $3.35 an hour, right? And that's what they pay these farmers now for high-tech jobs remotely. But he's right. He's right. Those are like go-to jobs that they're taking away. They are taken away. And when I did have to, like I worked at Trader Joe's, a go-to job. They don't hire like ADOS for restaurant or fast food restaurant jobs or restaurant jobs in New York City. Those jobs go to farmers. Those jobs go to farmers. So yeah, ADOS don't get jobs like that here. I could never walk in. I would get a job at Trader Joe's before I get a job, at McDonald's somewhere. That's just the reality of where I'm living at. But it's just sad. It's just sad. Even though that's in New York, but for the rest of the country, like in Texas or in other states, in the southern states, the plantation states, where there's a lot of ADOS that rely on those jobs, it's not even going to be there for them anymore because of everything is just going high tech. So it's either it's going high tech. It's a mess. It's a mess. But this is what I was talking about before, talking about my son, and then in the live that I did last week. And look, the New York Post did an article about it, right? They paying attention, right? Something else that I wanted to show was the pilot program here in New York City by the Bridge program is they are making it permanent. And I remember a lot of people was talking about this before. They were talking about how Black women are going to get $1,000 a month. And I'm going to say it again, like I said in my video that I did last year, I think it was, on Goldman Sachs, and how ain't none of y'all getting any of that money. Because if it is going to Black women, they're more than likely foreigners and not American Negro women. And I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, some of these states are giving money to Black." No, they're not giving money to y'all. This money is going to I'm gonna tell you right now, and they're gonna make it permanent. This money is going to Agrawell. This money is going to Tavares. Okay, this money is going to like Brazilians, Venezuelans, people from Latin America, Latino people. That's who this money is going to. $1,000 a month, and then for 18 months. I remember when they started it. So if you were pregnant or had a child, they would give you the money. And a lot of these checks that they're giving out, these women are already working in low-wage jobs. They're working either part-time or full-time in low-wage jobs. So they're getting this $1,000 on top of the paychecks that they make every month, right? And minimum wage here in New York is $15 an hour, and they're thinking about raising it. I think I heard that the legislators want to raise it to like $17 or $18 an hour. And I'm guessing that's because of the 61,000 immigrants, illegal aliens that they just brought up in here and putting in luxury hotels and trying to put them upstate New York. But the white people and the Jewish people are not all like, hell no. You ain't putting them here with us. Leave them downstate with the rest of them underrepresented people, pretty much, right? It's so funny because they got court orders and everything from the Supreme Court. They like, nope, you ain't putting them in here. Just go finish displacing them Negroes downstate. And that's exactly what they doing. Boy, I tell you. They getting the best hotels and everything. Boy, I tell you. They getting the best of everything. Yeah. Yep. And here in New York, you don't need to have you don't even need ID to get a damn driver's license. You don't need to be a citizen to get a New York State driver's license. That's why when I had applied for my passport, the State Department wrote me and was like, we need a certified birth certificate. And I had to send the original to Washington. I had to send the original birth certificate to Washington to prove that I was born, because I was born and bred here in New York, to prove that I was born here. And that's because ICE and immigration have a problem with New York state law in dealing with immigrants. It's a sanctuary state. So they wanted to make sure that I was a U.S. citizen. I'm like, oh my God. And then on top of that, my father, he's an immigrant. So I had to not only get my birth certificate from the vault of the hospital, where it listed everything, my parents' name, their addresses, where they were born at, and it had the country of origin from where my father was. He wasn't, well, he's a citizen, but he immigrated here and became a citizen. But that shows on my original birth certificate from the vault, not the one that you go to buy the records and they just hand you out like a copy. Not that one. Like all the information, like where you were born at, the address your parents lived, and the phone, the address, the time you were born, all of that stuff. So I had to get that certificate. Not only did I had to get that certificate, but I had to get it apostilled. I had to get it like certified for an apostle. And then I sent it to the State Department in Washington, and they didn't waste no time. They sent me my passport first, and then like 4 weeks later or 5 weeks later, I got my birth certificate back. I'm glad they sent that back. Oh boy, I tell you. But yeah, in New York State, you don't have to be a citizen to get a driver's license. That's why there's so many accidents here. That's why people are always getting run over. That's why people are always running into people waiting at the bus stop. That's why people are always running into their car into the salon and into the grocery store and into the restaurants, because they drive here like they're in their own countries. And in their own countries, there's really like no driving laws, there's no speed limit. So they come here and they act like they're still wherever they are. And they drive like that. Like there was a bad accident recently in Sheepshead Bay. It was horrible. It was, oh my God, it was horrible. But yeah, they drive like they still in Italy, like they in the Philippines, like, they drive like they in their country. And there's so many accidents here. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame. But yeah, you can get a driver's license here, and you don't have to be a citizen. You don't even have to show no paperwork for that. You can get food stamps here. You don't have to show no paperwork for that. You can get public housing. You can move into the projects. They say that you have to show paperwork for that, but you know, there's a lot of people living in the projects that are illegal aliens. You don't have to be you can be an illegal alien, get food stamps, you can get project housing, you can get free medical care, you can send your children to school, you know, none of that really matters. So that's who they giving this $1,000 a month to, because they need their workers. They need, people to make their sandwiches and wash their dirty drawers. I remember watching a video where they was welcoming in a Jewish neighborhood in Brooklyn. They was welcoming some illegal immigrants there at one of their Jewish centers, and the lady straight up said on the camera, the Jewish lady was like, "Yes, we want you to come here." She was talking to the Latino lady who was holding her little baby in the hand. She was like, "Yes, we want you to come here and get jobs, housing, and an apartment and everything." It's like, yeah, okay. Even though the people, who already lives here and don't got shit, they don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Just as long as y'all got somebody to make y'all sandwiches and do y'all dry cleaning, that's okay. But anyway, this $1,000 a month is going to them. It's from the Bridge Project, which is a nonprofit philanthropic organization. And there are some in other cities that are also nonprofit, but they're getting also government funds to fund this $1,000 a month for a new workforce that's coming in, right? And displacing the American Negro, your children, right? And yeah, it's sad. but no black women are getting these. So I just wanted to show that. I wanted to share that. I just wanted to share that right quick. So so now I want to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, right? I don't know why this is up here. It shouldn't be, and I'm upset about that. But I want to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Now, what you know about Sodom and Gomorrah is you probably know more about um, uh, the men. It was Lot who lived in. I'm not sure if it was Sodom or Gomorrah he lived in, but it was one of the five. It was one of the five cities that was in a certain geographical location, and well, it was actually two of the five cities that was destined to be destroyed by this biblical being, right? That was the God of Abraham. Abraham's God, right? Said, we're gonna destroy these people, right? And the reasoning for him wanting to destroy these people was because, according to him, they wasn't shit. Um, they do mention homosexuality in there, um, but I don't. I'm I'm not sure if that was really the reason for the destruction. It could have been, one of the catalysts, but I'm not going to say that it was like the main reason because men was going around giving each other penis. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said before in one of my other videos that uh, that was a Roman thing. Um, During war, Romans used violation, sexual violation on men and women. That's what they did. When they went to war and when they conquered who they was there to conquer, the Romans would use they would use their penis to violate people. And they violated men and they violated women. And to violate men was like to take their honor or to take their power. That was the whole purpose of being on top of the man, of a man being on top of the man. It was symbolic of taking their power and taking their honor, right? So it was not like a lust thing like it is today. It's more about lust, you know. It was more of a war thing. It was more of a power thing. It was like if you were on the bottom taking penis, you were giving up your power and you were powerless. Especially if you were a man, you were not just powerless, but you had no honor. You had no honor. So I don't think that was like the main reason, but uh that's the popular reason they want to talk about. But with Sodom, that story in Sodom and Gomorrah, it was really about the women. Now, the most, because that story is not just in Genesis, it's also in several other books. Even Jesus or Jesus spoke about it in the New Testament. But when Jesus spoke about it, it was um, in a sense that he was speaking about a woman. It wasn't about a nation. It was about a particular woman. In other parts of the Bible, it speaks about Sodom and Gomorrah, and the stories are, I don't want to say clarified, but it's almost like they go into detail, almost into detail about it, right? There are several different versions. It's also in the Quran. That story is also in the Quran. It's also in, like I said, several books in the Bible. It's also in the Tanakh, which is the Hebrew Bible, right? It's in there. And it's also in the Gnostic Gospel, the Nag Hammadi text, which you can get. You can read that online. Um, I'm subscribed to JSTOR. I can't remember what the acronym is for, but it's like a Jewish organization, and they have a whole lot of ancient texts and scriptures in their library. And if you just want to read them, you just got to be subscribed to it. So I'm subscribed to them so I can read certain things that I like to read. Especially like old ancient texts and scriptures, right? Um, there is a lot of there is a lot of versions to this story, but what's interesting is the one in Genesis and the one in the Gnostic text. Y'all know Gnostic means it's the Greek word for knowledge, right? Or no, Gnosis, Gnosis is the Greek word for know or knowledge. You know, um, in the Nag Hammadi text, that's the Gnostic Gospels, or a part of the Gnostic Gospels, because there's many that's been spread around, right? But in that text and uh, the version in Genesis is very it's extreme. It's extreme, right? So in Genesis it says, yeah, I put it in the right now. In the Gnostic, well, okay, in Genesis it speaks of of Abraham's God, right? Speaks of Abraham's God, right? And Abraham, well, it speaks of a patriarch God, right? This patriarch God um, wanted to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah and the other three cities that were in close in it was a certain city, these certain cities on this river, right? And I'm laughing because I'm thinking that maybe this God wanted to destroy maybe this God wanted to destroy these cities, Sodom, Gomorrah, and these other three cities. I can't remember the names of them right now, but maybe he wanted to destroy them because he was just upset that nobody was loving on him. You know what I'm saying? Because in those days, the gods walked among men. You know what I'm saying? They weren't really unreachable, like, they were up in the heavens, but they would come down occasionally and walk amongst men. You know what I'm saying? So did the Queen of Heaven and Earth, you know. But I just, that's just my little. I'm thinking dude was jealous. I'm just thinking because he is a jealous God, right? But he's always there. I'm a jealous God, I'm a jealous God. You must revere me because I am jealous. And don't you dare think of another man. So, I think dude was jealous and he just wanted to destroy Sodom, Gomorrah, and the other cities along with it because nobody was thinking about loving on him, right? In Sodom and Gomorrah, they did have males had sexual relations, but I think it was not a lust thing, that it was closer to the Roman times of a power thing. It was a power thing, right? And anyway, anyway, so Lot was in this city. I can't remember why he went there, but Lot is the one of the 12 tribes. He's from one of the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't remember which one. He's from one of you welcome. You welcome, strong and humble. He was from one of the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't remember which one, but what was he doing in a place like that? And he was well off, which it tells me even back then, like today, the LGBT, they move around money. And I'm not talking about the black ones, because black ones in the LGBTQRSBU groups, they are the underrepresented and the non-privileged, and they are just the face. They are the face of the LGBTQRSBU, and they are the energy that helps to manifest the spells and the magic that needs to be manifested through the LGBTQRS, the ones who are hidden, the ones who are not flamboyant, the ones who don't come out here and, you know, show up at the pride parade half naked. Because there are a lot of people in those groups, but, they're like discreet. I don't want to say they're in the closet, because they're not in the closet. They're just not flamboyant. Like, they're not flamboyant. Like, let me use myself as an example. I may love penis, but I'm not gonna wear penis on my forehead and everywhere I walk around. Talk about I love me some penis. Oh my God, I just love me some penis. I just love me some penis. I'm not flamboyant like that. Like, you would never know unless I wanted you to know. And there are people like that are make up the larger part of the LGBTQRSBU, and they're just not out here like that, and these people are doctors, they're lawyers, they're dentists, they're consultants, they're politicians, um, and I'm not saying that they're in the closet like they're ashamed. No, they're not ashamed. They just don't feel the need to go around, they're comfortable. They're comfortable in their skin. They're comfortable with who they are regardless of what anybody else says. They are comfortable with who they are, and they love themselves regardless of what anybody else said. I've noticed a lot of the legislation that they pushed for the LGBTQ had a lot to do with, yeah, they will. Flamboyant will always be the loudest. You're right. You're right. It is. It is weird. That's why I said I may love penis, but I would never wear a dildo on my forehead. Somebody, yeah, I love me some peen, y'all. But that's just Um, Sodom and Gomorrah, I don't feel was like that. They were not, and they were more of a power thing. Like, if they was giving penis to another man, it was a power thing. He was taking this man's power, and he was taking this man's honor. It was more like that. It wasn't a lust thing like these flamboyant LGBT people are out here. Because, like I said, you got people who are in that group who are not flamboyant, and they're your doctors, they're your lawyers, they're your politicians. But you would never know, because they're just not out here like that. But I've noticed that a lot of the legislation that they have been passing over the years had to really do, because a lot of it stemmed from the HIV or the AIDS era back in the 70s. Some of my favorite artists, came uh, down with AIDS and died. Like old boy from Queen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I grew up like listening to We Will Rock You playing on the school bus and shit like that, you know? Yeah, but yeah, it stemmed from that era when AIDS first came out of the lab and they spread it around, hoping to kill certain people. And it wasn't the gay people they were trying to kill. You know, it wasn't them, but um, a lot of gay people was catching it, you know. Um, and it stemmed from that because when they were getting sick, the people who they partnered with, even though it was between them, they were comfortable in their skin with who they was. They didn't feel the need to go out telling everybody they was gay, blah 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 blah. The people that they were partnered with, they wanted to, and it was a lot of rich people too, y'all. Like people who inherited wealth, like wealth, people who were wealthy, you know. As a matter of fact, they were the ones who were first getting the experimental drugs on AIDS. It was them, and any leftovers, they would donate to the people, who are the face of the LGBT now, who are the black people, right? The black and Latinos, right? But mainly the black people. But these were wealthy people. These were wealthy people that you would never even see, even if they weren't gay. You would never even see them. You know what I'm saying? These were wealthy people. And the thing with them was when they were partnered already with the people that they wanted to be partners with for the rest of their lives. But the thing was, they were dying and they couldn't leave their wealth to them. They couldn't transfer their wealth to them as, as a partner, as a married person or whatever. They wanted to make things like that legal. Like, well, this person, I have money and I have this insurance. I love this person. Can I put this person on my insurance? It was like legalities like that they were fighting for those rights. Like, when I was married to my husband, I had rights to everything. Like everything, like it wasn't I owned this, it was ours, legally it was ours. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed that a lot of that had to do with those kind of rights, you know. Um, as usual, they made black people, and this I'm talking about the Talmud ghouls, because they're also flamboyant. The people that you see you think that are white and that are gay, they're Jewish passing for white, right? And they're flamboyant, right? Because they can do that, because they can do that, and that's part of the agenda anyway. But they the blackface is just the energy to get their legislation passed. Yeah, I've been married and divorced already, and I prefer to just stay by myself. If I do get a partner, next time I'm gonna just do like what the gay people used to do and just have somebody write a legal document leaving me anything that they need to leave me. I'm not trying to do that anymore. Marriage, like I said before, it's a business. Nobody really marries for love. It's a business and a partnership. And I'm not ready to marriage is a business and respect is mutual. Respect is mutual. Marriage is a business. Nobody gets married for love. I mean, I don't know. Only poor people do that. Only poor people, broke people get married for love, or people get married for the wrong reasons because somebody told them that they need a man, and somebody told that man he needed to be the head of somebody's household. Those are not reasons to get married. You know what I'm saying? But marriage is a business, and respect is mutual, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I tried it once, and I was like, nah. You know, I And even the person that I married was like 20 years my senior. It's like I'm not. Um, I already have sons, and I think they were my karma because I don't have patience, and I've noticed that with men, it's scientific. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. There was a book about that. It's a very good book, and I suggest it was written like in the 80s, and I suggest everybody read that book because it's so true. You know, I didn't get any patience until after my sons came. I've had to learn a lot of patience, and I learned it through them because I don't have the patience. I've never had the patience. I've never ever had patience. And if it wasn't for my sons, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I could still evolve, right? I'm not, well, yeah, I am perfect because I'm human, but there's still room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? There's still room for improvement. So I'm not as bad as I used to be. I'm a lot better, but I can always do better. You know what I'm saying? In terms of my patience. And men, I've learned over my half a century of being here, and I think it took that long to learn that they are truly, truly different beings. They are different. And scientifically, I'm not trying to say that they're dumb. They are geniuses, but in some areas they're just slower than women. Like their thinking is different. Like when they think it's like straightforward, a straight line, and they just like focus, like straight line. Because my sons are geniuses, but they slow as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like they had to actually experience life to realize, oh, yeah, I think I should go and get that education. Oh, yeah, maybe I should move to another country and be a productive global citizen. You know what I'm saying? But they had to experience that, uh, what it was like for them being young black men in America. They had to experience that. I couldn't just sit there and give them my wisdom. I mean, I could give them my wisdom, but they still had to experience it because they were thinking one way. They had like this one way, linear thinking. Men have a linear type of thinking. Women think like in a cipher, in a circle. Like they see the full thing, like playing chess, right? I taught them how to play chess when they were like little, when they were like 6 and 7. I thought maybe that would help in their thinking, so they could see the full picture. So you could see ahead and then you could plan, like, see the full picture, right? But men don't think like that. They really don't. It's like when I even when they were little and I couldn't tell them to clean up their room. I could tell a girl clean up the room. That room is going to be clean. Everything's going to be put in place. Clothes folded, toys there, everything, bed made, everything's going to be put in place. But with them, I couldn't do it like that. I had to say, okay, pick up the clothes from off the floor and put them in the hamper. you know, okay, now when they did that, now put the toys in the toy box. When they did that, okay, put the games up on the shelf, they little video games. When they did that, okay, put your shoes in the closet, right? When they did that, okay, put the VHS tape and the CDs on the bookshelf. I had to do it like that. I couldn't just tell them to clean up their room because if I did that and if they did what I asked, I would be very annoyed because that room still it wouldn't be clean, not to my standards. For them it would be clean, like girl. Yeah. So it yeah, I had to have I learned actually through them. I learned actually through them, you know. And you have to have patience with them. Yeah, Mrs. Queen, they are simple, like in the sense that they not simple like they're dumb, because men are geniuses, but simple in terms of in certain areas of development. They are very simple. That's why, men are here to assist us. They're not here to be our masters and head of the household. You know what I'm saying? They're here to assist us. Very simple. They're here to assist us. They're here to provide, you know, which means, especially in this day and age, they got to be out all day working because inflation is a bitch. Yeah, just simple. Exactly. Not dumb. I'm not trying to say that they're dumb. The men are very genius and intelligent. It's just, they're just very simple. Exactly. They're just very simple. And like I said, they're here to assist us. They're not here to be our masters and tell us what to do and be the head of the household, because they're not the head of the household. They're supposed to be providing for us. They're supposed to be working all day to provide, especially in this day and age. Shit is expensive. Rent is high as hell. Well, I live in Manhattan. Rent is high as hell, and a loaf of bread is damn near like $5. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Child, and the milk, like not the cow's milk, but like the rice milk and the oat milk, you know, that I drink, that's a lot of money. For a half a gallon, that's like $6. That's a half a gallon. That's not even a full gallon. $6 for a half a gallon. Child, nah, they supposed to be out all day providing. That's why I said, when they come home, if they don't want to do shit, they shouldn't have to do shit. They shouldn't have to do shit but sit down and fall asleep with the TV on. Unless they got to discipline the kids. And like I said, it's not about beating the shit out of the kids. It's just about putting fear of God in them. Oh, you didn't listen to your mama? Well, this is what's going to happen to you. This is what I'm going to do to you if you don't listen to your mama. They here to assist us. They here to assist us. But people got it twisted. Because if he was really being a man, you would barely see him. And your children would barely see him because he's too busy providing for you. And if you can't protect yourself while he's not around, then I don't know what to tell you, because I don't know what mother doesn't protect her own children. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what mother does. I don't know how he's gonna protect you if he's out there providing for you all day. Like you gotta have some type of business about yourself. Learn how to shoot a gun. Learn how to shoot a crossbow. Take archery lessons. Know how to make weapons out of household appliances. Be creative. Like you're gonna just sit there in your femininity. Somebody breaking in your house while your husband at work or something, and you just gonna sit there in your femininity and wait on your husband to come home to protect you? What the hell is wrong with you people? Anyway, you see that tiger back there? You see that cat? That's the symbol of the queen of heaven and earth. That's the symbol of our divine mother, of our holy mother. That's her symbol. The lions, the cats, the tigers, because they're not indigenous to this planet. She actually brought them here. If you see the old Sumerian template with her holding and with her foot on that lion, child, let me tell you something. Like I said, I would hurt somebody over mine. I would hurt I would hurt somebody over mine. I don't need a man to do that. I don't need to be resting in my femininity. You know what I'm saying? I would hurt somebody over mine. I would do it. I don't care. I would be the bitch ass. I would take a mofo out over mine. I'm not waiting for any man to come and protect me. I will take you out over mine. Manimal or femalian. I don't care. Just don't test my gangster. Okay? So yeah, they talking about, yeah, you gotta protect you. So yeah, they're gonna be waiting, while somebody breaking in their house trying to rob them of the nice things that their man done provided them with after paying all the bills, and providing them with big screen TV and whatever, nice furniture, you know, a safe in the house, and somebody gonna come in there and try, and she gonna be sitting there, her femininity, waiting on this dude to come home to protect her and her children. See, I warn my sons against femalians like y'all. I don't want them around your femalians. So I don't care if you don't like my American descendant of slavery sons, my American Negro male sons. I don't care if you don't like them. I don't like you either. And I warn them against you femalians. They don't want no femalians like you. You know what I'm saying? Because they mama ain't never been weak and oppressed. Okay? So they already know. They already know. They mama ain't never been weak or oppressed. So what would they want with a weak and oppressed woman? You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna want no weak and oppressed woman. You know, you got to be able to do something while they out there providing. You know what I'm saying? I taught them to do that. You know, you gotta be doing something while they out there providing, resting in your femininity, waiting on them to come home and rescue you. Girl, you gotta be out your damn mind. You better get some business about yourself and stop with that bullshit. Like for real, for real. But anyway, I'm good because you know they not with no femalians like y'all. Yes, they not with no femalians because I warned them against because I would beat a bitch ass. I done already said that I would beat a bitch ass over mine because they won't put their hands on a woman. They won't even stand there and allow a woman. They'll run. They will literally run. They like you try to put your hands on them and you a woman, they'll run from you. And they're not gonna run from you because they're scared of you. They're gonna run from you because they know it's against cosmic law. It's actually a sin to put your hands on a woman. That's a sin against God. That's a sin against the cosmos. That's breaking cosmic law. They already know if they put their hands on a woman, regardless of the situation, nothing good will ever come to them. So for those of you whose lives are all messed up, think about what woman you harmed. Even if she was a femalian, even if she wasn't shit, even if she wasn't shit, it don't matter. You can't put your hands on her. That's against cosmic law. So they won't do that, and they know that naturally. I didn't have to indoctrinate them about that. They biologically knew that. Like they already know. So if you try to put your hands on them, they're gonna run. They're not gonna stand there and get abused. They're gonna run. And don't let them tell me, and they probably won't because they already know. They already know. They already know that I will beat somebody ass over mine. That's why they're very cautious about who they let in their circle, everything. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it don't matter, manimal or femalian. I will take somebody out over mine. So don't even. And I don't apologize for it either. I don't apologize for the love that I have for my sons, and I don't apologize for the love that I have for my father. I feel sorry to you people. You know what I'm saying? But most of y'all are the other bloodline anyway. So that's why y'all out here like that, because y'all the other bloodline. You know what I'm saying? With that mess, resting in your femininity while you waiting on your husband to come and protect you when he's supposed to be out there providing. Child, please. Anyway, Mrs. Queen, I know, right? They a mess. But damn, I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, back to Sodom and Gomorrah, right? This God in the Bible, Abraham's God, I believe was very jealous because he wasn't getting no play from them. And it wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah he destroyed. It was 4 other cities in that proximity. He was gonna do 5 of them, But the fifth one, Lot was like, nah, I need somewhere to go because he was too lazy. The angel told him to go to the mountains. It's like, yo, we about to fuck shit up over here. Go to the mountains. You gotta run to the mountains. Lot was like, hell no, that's too far. I ain't going to them damn mountains. Can you please ask God to not destroy this one town so I could go run over there and hide out? And his God was like, okay, I won't destroy that town because you can't run all the way to the mountain. You see this shit? I'm not making this up. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. It's in Genesis. He was like, all right, I'm not going to destroy this town. You could go run over there and hide. You go over there and hide because your lazy ass don't want to run all the way up there to the mountains. You know what I'm saying? You see this? Patriarch God, I'm telling you, dude was jealous. Dude was jealous because he wasn't getting the penis love from the men in Sodom and Gomorrah. But that's what they tell you about it. Then they tell you that the angels came to warn Lot, said, you got to leave. Lot didn't want to leave at first. He didn't want to leave. And I believe because, like I was saying before, wherever you have, like now the LGBT, they're wealthy. I'm not talking about the flamboyant ones and the face of the LGBT. I'm talking about the doctors, the lawyers, the ones you won't never see, the ones you won't never know. They have wealth, right? And that's why I believe that Lot was over there, because that's where the money resided. That's where the money resided. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever he was doing over there, making his money, whatever, he was over there in Sodom, making his money. They were well off. They wasn't struggling. They wasn't poor. They wasn't broke. I think he had 2 daughters and his one wife. The angels came, was like, yo, God is we about to destroy this place. And then Lot was like, well, don't destroy it. See, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to leave. He asked Angel, he was like, nah, please ask God not to do it. Tell him not to do it. If he could find, they negotiated. They negotiated. He was like, if he could find 50 people. First, he was like 50 people who's good people. And then the angel was like, nah, that's too many. That's too many. We gonna do then Lot was like, all right, 30. He's like, nah. He's like, okay, finally 10 people, just 10 good people, and then don't destroy them. If you could find 10 good people. So he was like, all right. So God was like, deal. He was like, deal. Okay, got a deal. 10 people. Can't find 10 good people. You know what I'm saying? Any one of them 10 good people that might want to give me some pain. You know what I'm saying? All right. I'll let them live. You know what I'm saying? If not, they got to go. So it just so happened that when they was in Lot's house, the man was like, yo, and again, I don't think this has anything to do with lust the way it has to do right now with the flamboyant people, the ones that's out there in your face. They're lustful. The wealthy ones who have the wealth, that's the doctors, the lawyers, and the politicians that's not out there in your face and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? With them, it's not about lust, right? So I'm trying to say that I don't think when these men approached Lot's house and was like, yo, you got them 2 dudes up in there, bring them out here. So we need to give them some pain. I think that had more to do with like the Roman times. They wanted them out there so they can take these men who they thought were men, as they were angelic beings. They wanted to take their honor and they wanted to take their power. That's all it was about. Because with men, it's about power. With men, it's really about nothing but power from the beginning of their existence. It's all about power. That's all it's been. That's all it's ever been. No matter how sick and twisted it may be with them from the beginning of their existence, because we were here first. From the beginning of their existence, it's always been about power. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. It's always been, they would rather take power over money. It's always been about power for men, regardless of their level of melanin. It's always been about power. That's it. And this is why I say I believe that, you know, with the people who came to Lot's house and was like, bring these men out. We noticed that they knew in the area. You know, we ain't never seen them before. You know what I'm saying? We need to, you know, take their honor. We need to take their power. We need to let them know who's boss out here, where they at. You know what I'm saying? And on top of this, this was one of the tribes of Israel where these people were. This was, according to the other versions in the Bible, in the New Testament, according to the New Testament, according to the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, and something else. What am I thinking? The Quran, the Torah, the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, and the Quran. According to them, these men, well, okay, when he came and said, let me see, let me see these men, you know, when they came, it was like, let me bring these men outside. Lot was like, nah, you can't have them. You can't have them. You can't have them. But I got two daughters up in here. I'll throw them outside. You could violate them all you want to. This is what I wanted, the part that I wanted, because this is what they never, ever, ever talk about. All they talk about is the homosexuality between the men, right? But they never talk about the women. So Lot was like, yeah, I got two daughters. You can violate them. Go ahead and violate them. You know what I'm saying? They was like, nah, we don't want them. We want the men. And again, according to these other versions in the Quran, in the Hebrew Bible, in the Torah, and even in other parts of the book of the Bible, these men were of an Israelite tribe. They were one of the tribes of Israel. I don't remember which descendant of Israel, but they were a tribe. The people living in Sodom, the people who approached Lot, because Lot was also an Israelite. He was also of the tribe of Israel. I don't remember which one, right? Or a nation of Israel, right? I don't remember which ones. Was 12 nations of Israel, the 12 that they talk about, but it was really 13. The 12 that they talk about. He was of one, and the men that approached him where he was living in Sodom, they were also of a tribe of a nation of Israel. I don't remember which one. Now, this is written in the Genesis. I'm not making this up. This is in the Quran. This is in the Hebrew Bible. I'm not making this up, right? So Lot was like, no, you can violate my wife. So the story in Genesis goes, well, they didn't violate the wife, the women, and the angels got so mad that they was like, okay, fuck it. You know, they asking to give me some pain. Nah, they ain't finna take away my honor, and they not finna take my power. We about to blow shit up. And basically that's what they did in Genesis. They just right away blew stuff. They was like, all right, we ain't waiting on 10 decent people. We tearing this shit up right now. So about taking my power. I'm gonna show you power, and I'm destroying everything. So that's what happened. And then they had to leave. Lot tried to tell some of his other family members, his wife's son-in-law, I think it was the wife's son-in-laws, the wife-in-laws, I think it was the wife part of the family. They just laughed and they was like, huh, we ain't going nowhere. We're going to just stay right here. So they all left. That's when the angel was like, go to the mountains. I was like, fuck that. That shit too far. I'm not going up there. You're going to have to ask God to just not destroy this one city so I can just bring my ass over there and just parlay with my family. And the angel was like, all right, good. You got it. He said, go ahead over there. So that one city that was supposed to be destroyed, because it was 5 of them. It wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah. It was 3 other cities. Only 4 of them got destroyed because Lot ended up in the other one, right? Because his ass was too lazy to go to the mountains, right? That's how they ended up being saved, because of Lot's laziness, right? So when they was on their way to that city, they said that the woman, his wife, had looked back, because angels like, don't look back. Keep going straight ahead and don't look back. Well, she looked back and then she turned into a pillar of salt. Now, it's 2 things that's very symbolic about her looking back and her turning into a pillar of salt. Those are 2 symbolic things. And it's very analogous to so-called Black women, the mother of humanity, particularly the ones that are the American Negro, right? Particularly them. But before I get into her looking back and then turning into a pillar of salt, I just want to say that in the other versions of this story, in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Hebrew Bible, in the Torah, all of them, except for the Nag Hammadi text, except for those, the Gnostic Gospels. In all of those versions, a woman was sexually violated. In one of the versions, it was actually his wife that he threw out there, and they sexually violated her all night. The story goes that when he opened the door in the morning and looked out, she was just laying there, passed out. You know what I'm saying? And not only was she sexually violated, but the husband in most of these stories took her body and mutilated it into several pieces, into 12 pieces, and gave a piece to each of the head of the nations of Israel. Handed out her body parts. So not only was she sexually violated, but she was mutilated, and each one of her body parts was handed out to I think it was the Levites. Was the Levites? I'm not sure. Don't take my word for it. You're gonna have to look it up yourself, because I read a lot. So yeah. Her body parts in these other versions was handed out to the different tribes of Israel, and the man was like, of this one tribe was like, this is what happened. This is what this tribe of this nation of Israel did. So we will never bring our women to marry into this nation of Israel. They're going to, and another version was saying that they actually went to war with that. I forgot it was called a war, a certain war. They actually went to war with this nation of Israel that sexually violated this woman. After they chopped her up into pieces and gave it out, they went to war and they almost annihilated them, almost wiped this tribe out to the point where it was only 600 men left. And then look what they did when it was only 600 men left. They stopped themselves and was like, oh, we can't, this is something that God, whatever. They called on a God and was like, we can't annihilate, one of our own tribes, and they won't exist if we go ahead and do this. So, these people, they killed thousands and thousands, except for 600 of them. And then they was like, okay, so we're going to let you live. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to these people who are not tribes of Israel, right? We're going to go over here. We're going to plunder them. We're going to kill all of their men. We're going to kill all of their women who had sexual relations with men, who are mothers. We're going to kill their children. And we're only going to not kill women who don't have any children and who are supposed to be virgins, never had sex with a man before. And they ended up going to this other nation and totally annihilating them, except for, I think, 300 women who were supposed to be virgins. And I'm guessing that they were probably little girls, you know. I'm guessing that they had to be little girls, right? Because in those times, children at the age of 13 and 14 were being married off to each other, right? So I'm guessing that they annihilated everyone and all the children, all the male children, except for little girls that was still like not quite marriage age, not quite 13, right? Maybe 9, 10, 11, or 12. You understand what I'm saying? So they went and got these girls, and then they brought them over here to these men. And it's like, well, it's only 300 of them, so you know, you just got to do your best and share them. You know what I'm saying? Just savage, y'all. Just savage. Just straight up savage. But these are the different stories of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all of the versions, of these stories, except for the main one in Genesis, all of these versions, a woman was violated, and her body was mutilated, and then these men declared war on another tribe of Israel, on another nation of Israel, and then went and plundered somebody else to bring them women, like just savage, just straight up savage, right? So this was all about the violation of women. You know, men had been having, and like I said, I believe it has a lot to do with the Roman tradition of war. And when you conquer a people, then you sexually violate them, men and women. Like you sexually violate them. Like that was just a tool of war, you know. And men still do it to this day. Men still do it to this day. And like I said before, with them, it's all about power. It's all about power. That's all it's about. It's all about power. So all of the versions was like that, except for the version of the Gnostic, which it was, like I said in my last live video, a demon is a god and a god is a demon, right? In this Gnostic version, it was a Pharisee or prophet from the line of Shem who went to Sodom and Gomorrah to actually teach and give the secret knowledge to. And he recorded that it was destroyed by a demonic, actually a demiurge, which is like a demon in human form. That's how he described it. He said that area, Sodom, Gomorrah, and the other two cities were destroyed by a demon in human form. So I'm not making this up. Like y'all can go look this up. Y'all can look it up. I'm not making this up. Was written, right? So all of those versions, I wanted to make clear that women were violated, right? Women, and that was something that it was okay for women to be violated because they like readily gave up, like Lot readily gave up his daughters, was like, yeah, you could go violate them. In the other versions, these men was like, here, take my wife. You know, you can't have me, you can't have these men, but do whatever you want with her, you know. In one version, one wife left her husband. She wasn't of the tribe of Israel. She was from Bethlehem. She left her husband. And in this story, it tried to make her look like she was disagreeable, like she was just a bitch, and she left her husband. I'm pretty sure it had to be a reason. She left him and went back to her father's house in Bethlehem. This dude, like a stalker, and like in many domestic violence situations, he followed her to her father's house to go and get her back. And then the father was like saying something like, you had to do something. If you do this for the next 5 days, you can take her back. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he did whatever it was he had to do. And this is like, to me, like a domestic violence situation, because women be in those situations where they will leave their abuser and he will go and follow her and bring her back to the place where he abuses her. Like, this happens all the time. It happens all the time. So this actually happened. I don't remember what version it was. I think it was a version in the Bible. It was in the Bible. And he went to get her, and on the way back home, I think he was with also her and her servant. So she had to have some money if she had a servant. So he went back to get her. And like I told y'all before, all the women had the wealth, and the men was usually broke. And when they married the women, all of her wealth became his. You know what I'm saying? So he went back with her and her servant. And the servant was like, here, let's stop in this town and take a rest. He was like, no, I don't, these people are alien to me. I don't know these people. They could be bad, like they're not of my kind, they're not like me. They're not of my kind. We're not going to stop here. So then they kept going, and then they went further somewhere else, which I think it wasn't Sodom, but it was a town where it was Israelite. It was a nation of Israel city. And in all of these versions, these people were Israelites, all of them. A nation of is Lot was, and so were the people who were doing the violating. You know what I'm saying? Except for the women, they weren't of any of the tribes. These were women who were considered outside of the nation of Israel, right? So he stopped because he was familiar with brethren, right? Another nation of Israel. He thought he was going to be good, right? He took up lodging with somebody who gave him lodging, and then the people of the city came to him and was like, "Yo, you got to give up the booty." And he was like, "No, I'm not giving up the booty, but you could take my wife." And he pushed her out the door, and they violated her all night. He left her right outside there, right outside the door. So when he opened the door, I don't know if she was dead or what. She could have been alive while he mutilated her. You know what I'm saying? To make an example out of her. And it's just disgusting. But I think that was a domestic violence situation. So he ended up getting her and ended up violating her again anyway. And this time she ended up dead or homicided. And he used that as an excuse to go to war with his brethren tribe, right? Another tribe of the nation of Israel, right? And then the same story happens. They had this war, and and the women that they plundered from another city, brought them over to the men, but they still swore, because they swore that none of their women would ever marry into this tribe. This is their excuse for going into another city and getting people outside, women outside of this nation of Israel, and bringing it to them. So this happened in all of them. This happened in all of the versions, except for the Gnostic, where I told you the prophet of Shem said no. It was destroyed by a human demon, a demon in human form. That's what he said. I'm not making this up. Like, y'all can look this up, right? So I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to relate that to, and I'm specifically talking about the American Negro woman because, this is where I live and this is what I see a lot of, like domestic violence going on and stuff like that. And I see a lot of it going on with them, and they're the ones that are getting violated a lot and even homicided. And like I said in my last live, when I used to volunteer at the DA's office, when I used to volunteer there for the women of domestic violence, a lot of those women that were taking advantage of those resources were not Black women. They were like Muslim women, they were Latino women, they were refugee women from other countries like Europe, stuff like that. They were taking advantage of those programs where, like I said, a part of my ministry, I want to be able to help like American Negro women get out of that situation only if they're serious. Because like I said, is you have to you have to you have to leave everything behind, like Lot wife had to do. She had to leave behind everything that she knew. She had to leave behind her friends, her family, her house, her jewels. She had to leave everything behind, you know. And I see that a lot of Black women, they think that in order, or a lot of American Negro women, ADOS women, feel like in order protection is enough, and I'm telling you, it's not. That's not the only thing you do. Is because police will never get there to protect you. They will never get there to protect you from being homicided. You can only hope that after you've been homicided, that police will step in and do the investigative work properly to give you justice. That's the only thing you can hope for with an order of protection, because most of these men don't even follow that. Like, because they already know. They already know. They basically can do what they want, and like they're willing to go to jail anyway. Like 3 meals a day, free cable TV, you know, weight room, lifting weights, you know what I'm saying? Free booty all day. They can do that. And order protection is not enough. You have to leave everything behind. Like I was saying in my last live last week, you have to leave everything behind. You have to start all over. And you got to go way to the mountains, like Lot didn't want to do. He didn't want to go to the mountains, but you got to go, because he said he didn't want to go to the mountains because it was too far. That's what you have to do. You can't go to the next town over that's like right next door. You can't go to the next street. You can't go to the next block. You can't go to the next neighborhood. You got to go way out there to the mountains. That's like 10 states away. That's what you have to do. But I wanted to relate that because Lot wife had to leave everything behind. And the angel was like, don't look back. Just look ahead and keep going, right? Because if you look back, you die. That's why you gotta keep going forward. You don't look back. You keep going forward. Like you know what had happened in the past. I'm not saying don't look back, like just forget about everything. No, don't forget about everything. Just you can't look back to it like that's where you want to be, you know, like you're yearning for that. That's what she was doing. She was giving up everything, her home. She was giving up everything she knew. She was giving up everything she knew. And she looked back because she was longing for that. She was reminiscing. She was longing for that. She was yearning for that. She was missing that. She was homesick for that. So she looked back. She looked back at what she was leaving, at what she was giving up, for her life, basically. She looked back, you know, yearning, hesitant, you know, because she didn't want to leave. She didn't want to leave. And as a matter of fact, in Genesis, it said that the angels had to like almost forcibly make Lot and his family leave because none of them really wanted to go. So it wasn't just her you know, stuck like that. It was her whole family because it said the angels had to like forcibly make them go because they didn't want to go. They was like, all right, we're about to do the damn thing now. And they was like procrastinating. And then when they was leaving, she looked back. She looked back because she was looking back at what she was missing, at what she was going to miss, at her life, at her yearning and her longing for that life that she was living. And she was living a good life, because they were wealthy. Lot of his family was wealthy. So I'm sure she was living a good life. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to equate that with that. You know, never look back because if you look back, you die. You have to keep going. You gotta keep moving forward. You can't move backwards, right? You can't move backwards. That's why a lot of people are in shambles now, right? Because they keep going backwards. You keep going back to that same, you know, you keep going back to that same person that vibrates the way they vibrate and vibrating on that level. You keep going back to that, oh, they treat me so bad, but I love them. You keep going back to that, you know, person that says, well, nobody else is ever going to love you or understand you but me. You keep going back. You're going back. You're going back. You're going back. Like Lot's wife. You're going back. And and that's just, you know, that's not good. That's not good. I wanted to equate that with that. Besides the fact that it was nothing but women that were being violated in this scene with Sodom and Gomorrah. It was women that was being violated. I know they don't teach y'all about that because you know, because a woman being violated is okay. A man being violated is not okay, but a woman being violated is okay. You know what I'm saying? In terms of these ancient scriptures or these scriptures, right? And in terms of her turning into a pillar of salt, I would say that that's like symbolic of being salty. I don't know if you've ever heard of that expression. Like most of the time, that expression is given to women and not to men. I mean, unless they're the flamboyant gay people, they can be kind of salty, but I've never really heard anybody even attribute that to them. I don't know if you heard of that before, salty, but it's like how can I explain it? Salty is like when a person is like when they speak, they sound like they're annoyed, or they can sound like they're bitter, annoyed, bitter, or they can sound like verbally aggressive or verbally uh, assertive. Who's a hater, Mrs. Queen? I'm just seeing that. Um, Salty, like a person who is that is usually attributed to women. Like a person, they could be annoyed. A salty woman is someone who's annoyed, someone who's bitter. Yeah, yeah. Someone who's bitter, someone who's annoyed at something, someone who's bitter, someone who's verbally combative or verbally aggressive, you know, salty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there was something that Jesus had said in the New Testament about Sodom, and when he attributed it Sodom, he didn't. When he spoke of Sodom as a woman. That's very interesting. Jesus or Jesus, y'all call him Jesus. He's Jesus, you know, because I got a Latino father, so when you read it, it's Jesus. You know, it's a Spanish name. Jesus is a Spanish name, right? But when Jesus mentions Sodom in the New Testament, he speaks of Sodom as a woman, Mrs. Queen, and the way he describes this woman is a salty person. Let me see if I can even find that. But he speaks of her as a salty person. Let me see if I can find that. Uh, 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 uh. He speaks of her like a salty person. He says that he was speaking about her in uh in um in comparison to somebody who he was dissing. Actually, he was dissing somebody and was saying that like your sin right now is not even comparable to Sodom. You know, like Sodom was good compared to you. Basically what he was saying. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can. Let me see. What did Jesus say about Sodom and Gomorrah? Right there. Okay. It's in Luke 17, verse 28 to 30. They only put part of it here where he said it would be more bearable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for you. Meaning that whoever he was dissing when he said that, he was like, you like a whole lot worse. Um, Let me see. Because people like don't put the whole thing in context. They only like to say what but he was speaking of it like it was a woman, and the way he was describing this woman, she was very salty. I'm trying to find it. They don't want to talk about that because I see the males, the the males are more focused on the sodomy of, you know, the men and penis. Why they so focused on that? Like they totally disregard that in this whole Sodom and Gomorrah story, no matter what version is being told, that whether it's in the Islam Quran, in the Hebrew Bible, or in the Jewish Bible, that it was women that was violated, violated, and homicided. I already know why. Um, I already know why. I already know why. But I think that's sad. But I wanted to bring that up. The American Negro woman who is here, and she's looking back because she's longing for that life that she had. She thinks she's missing out on some good penis, whatever the case may be, you know, that's Lot's wife. That's Lot's wife. And then salty about it. And then being salty about it. Like, I'm not gonna get annoyed at the thought of even leaving her situation. She's annoyed with that. Like, she can't do that. Mm. And in all of the versions, whether it's Islam, Judaism, or the Abraham God, and all of the versions, the woman is the evil one, even though she's the one that got violated. Even though she's the one that got sexually violated and mutilated, she's the evil one. In all of the versions, somehow, how they say now, if a woman get sexually violated, what did she do to bring that on? She had to be doing something for this man to want to sexually violate her. Yeah, it's the same way in these books, in these so-called holy books. It's the same way. Um, Here it is. Okay, here it is. This is in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verses 49 through 50, right? It says here, now this was the sin of Sodom. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. They did not help the poor and the needy. They were haughty and did detestable things before me. Therefore, I did away with them as you have seen. She was pretty much salty in this description. Arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. Salty, arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. I'm repeating that because a lot of people a lot of femalians in the Black YouTube sector that don't show their faces, I believe, are arrogant, overfed, probably weigh a little bit more than they should and can miss a meal or two or three or four or five or six or seven or eight or nine or 10. And they're really unconcerned. They're unconcerned about other so-called Black women, mothers of humanity. They fake a concern. They say, oh, I'm just concerned about, I'm concerned about you Black women being homicided and being raped. And, you should get out of Blackistan, without even giving you resources or really teaching you how to how to get out of Blackistan. First of all, you can't get out of Blackistan because ain't no white person letting you live in their neighborhood. You're still redlined. You're still redlined. So the best thing you can do is just work on your community because so-called Black women, you are the community. Like I said in my last video, you are the community. You the one that run that shit. You run it. You run it. You give birth to these men and women, whether they monsters or demons or otherwise or angelic, you're giving birth to them. You run the community. You give birth to them. You're supposed to educate your children, men and women, to be strong men and women. You're supposed to build your community intellectually, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Why are so many of them out here emotionally immature? How are you going to be 30, 40 years old and emotionally immature? You know what I'm saying? Like, salty. Yes, Mrs. Queen, salty. That's salty. This is what it says in Ezekiel. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. They did not help the poor and the needy. They were haughty and did detestable things before me. They were haughty, did not help the poor and the needy. This is what I'm saying. You have these black people, these so-called black women, yeah, in the shacks. I call it the shit chakra, the root sacral, because that's exactly where it is, where that shit comes out of. Your shit chakra, exactly. And that's what salty is. I mean, Ezekiel says it better than I did. Haughty, arrogant. And that's what these women are, especially the ones that don't show their faces, calling somebody else ugly. That's arrogant and that's haughty. How you not going to show your face and then you want to talk about like how somebody else look, you know? And I do believe that they probably could miss a meal or two. Overfed. It didn't say overweight. Ezekiel says overfed, but we can infer from that what that means, right? Unconcerned. Oh yeah, I care about black women. I care that you're being homicided. I think that they really care about all the clicks and likes that they have. They care about the clicks and likes that they get, you know, and that's it. Because really, this TV shows Fatal Attraction that's based on all of these fatal relationships that so-called black women have. I mean, you can watch that on TV. You don't need to come on YouTube for that. Like they got a whole industry for that. they got a whole industry for so-called black women here in this country, American Negro women being homicided. It's a whole industry, and it's called For My Man and Fatal Attraction. Okay, like you don't need to be on YouTube listening or saying something like that, not showing your face, telling women to go and you sitting in your femininity because you got a white man, because you're concerned about other black women. You really concerned about other black women? No, you're really unconcerned. Yeah, yeah, I don't know if their content is monetized, but I know they got that Cash App up, and I know those donations ain't tax deductible. I know those donations ain't tax deductible. I know they got their Cash App up, and they got that Patreon. That's where all the Dusties are on Patreon, except for Yvette Cornell, because I follow. She's the only person I follow on Patreon. She's the only one that I follow on Patreon, Yvette Cornell. You know, I pay those dues by the year. I don't even do the monthly thing because I'm not asking for any refunds. I pay those dues by the year, okay? And I do the top tier one that I pay by the year. But everybody else on Patreon are dusty as fuck. They dusty motherfuckers, period. You know, and I'm sure they getting those donations and they're not tax deductible. That's all I know. That's all I know. And yeah, they probably do. That money probably pay their bills, pay their rent. Because while they sitting in their femininity, married to a white man, I guess they need some kind of income coming in. You know, I know if I was married, well, regardless if I was married to a white man or not, I wouldn't be doing shit. And I already did that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be doing shit. I wouldn't be doing nothing. I mean, like I gave birth. I gave birth. That's the hardest work a woman would ever have to do in her entire life. I'm telling you, that's the hardest thing ever. I gave birth, so I feel like I'm entitled not to have to do shit else. And that's just how I feel about the damn thing. But regardless, if I was married to a white man, a black man, an Asian man, an Indian man, I wouldn't be doing shit. So I don't even know like why they married and not forget about being married to a white man. Why you married and not resting in your femininity? Why you on here YouTube hustling? Hustling. I'm telling you, who the hell got time to be on here 2 or 3? I barely want to come on once a week. I barely even want to do that because I got a life and I love my life. You know what I'm saying? I bet 2 or 3 times a week. Right. Who is providing for you? If you want to hear 2 and 3, child, child, I can't. But salty. These are the salty women that when they speak of Sodom, that's what they're talking about. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. I'm pretty sure they overweight too, because you don't ever see their face. You know what I'm saying? Like you sitting on a computer all day. Look, child, I had to get a damn I got a whatchamacallit, a treadmill. I got a treadmill right up in there. My son bought me a treadmill. I needed that treadmill because since the pandemic, I'm on the computer with working and everything, and I'm working on the computer. So I'm not moving around like I used to when I worked at Trader Joe's or when I worked in the doctor's office. I did front office and back office. Back office is clinical and front office is administrative. So I never I never sat down. I barely even sat down to eat my lunch. Like if I took a lunch break. I never sat down. So I was always moving. When you always moving, that's all the exercise you need. I was able to keep the weight off of me. But since the pandemic and I'm not moving around like that no more, I have to be conscious about that shit. My son bought me a treadmill and I lost a lot of weight too. I lost a lot of weight because I gained a lot of weight during that damn pandemic. I was like, oh no, we can't. I had to get serious about my health. It's like, nah, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. Yeah, it is more peaceful. I got a treadmill and I got a bike. Well, it's a bike, but I bought one of those things that you could put the bike on to make it stationary. So, you know, you could just, bike on it. Yeah, yeah. And I do that treadmill. I walk on that treadmill like I do me like 5 miles a day while I'm watching my Korean drama. So I'm either watching my Korean drama or I'm on the damn laptop. I'm doing something. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. Yeah. So my health is important. I done gained a lot of weight during that pandemic. And since I got serious, I was like, no, I can't be doing this. I had to realize that me not moving around anymore is what's making that weight stick. Cause no, I didn't go yet this year. They don't go, if you're talking about South Korea, they don't go until June. I think it's in June or July. So yeah, I didn't go yet, but I'm definitely planning on it. I'm definitely planning on it. So yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely planning on it. But all that weight stuck. So shit. I'm not even gonna kid y'all. I lost like 13 pounds. I gained a lot of weight. So yeah, I had to change my diet and everything. I changed my diet because I'm not trying to get diabetes. I'm not trying to get high cholesterol. Like I'm not trying to have my organs shut down. I'm 50. I'm over 50. I'm like 55. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be like, you know, I still want to be able to move and get around. So yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So yeah, so I had to take that seriously. So my son bought me a treadmill and I got that bike stationary. He bought that bike over and then I just paid for the stationary thing. Where I got that from? I got it online from I got it from one of those online shops that I shop at. I think I can't remember the name of it, but that's when my son bought his razor, his shaver to shave his head with during the pandemic. So I ordered that because they got like a lot of gadgets on that. I'll put it in the link the next time. I'll put it in the link. But yeah, so I had to get serious with that, and I changed my diet. I even changed how I eat. So I do like intermittent fasting, you know, just just try not to eat nothing after a certain time and stuff like that. I mean, I still eat whatever I want, but I just do it like intermittently. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I exercise every day. I do my Chloe routine 10 minutes in the morning, then I walk during the day and my bike. Yeah, it's easy. You just gotta, well, I'm not gonna say it's easy, Mrs. Queen. You just gotta discipline yourself. Like don't try to deprive yourself of your favorite food. Like eat what you like to eat, just don't eat it all day. Just pick one time a day to eat and just do intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is like fast uh like every 24, 48 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I do it like I try to do it like every 48 hours at least, every 2 weeks. But I do fast every 24 hours every day. So like if I eat something at 12, if I ate something today at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I'm not going to eat anything until tomorrow after 3, because that'll been a full 24 hours. And I always make sure I move my bowels before within that 24-hour period. So that's important too. You gotta, because a healthy person move their bowels every day. You're supposed to do like 3 bananas, at least 3 bananas. But if not, you have to move your bowels every day. So yeah, I always make sure I move my bowels first. I didn't mean to get nasty like that, but yeah, move your bowels and then you eat. Yeah, vitamin B12 is good. I also take that. I take whatchamacallit. I take turmeric. I take the, the, uh, the humanoids of the turmeric. I take that. I take um I take barley grass. I take wheatgrass. I take it in a pill form, but I don't take a lot. I might take like 500 milligrams of each a day, the barley grass and the wheatgrass, and I do that for the chlorophyll, and I also do that because it has all the essential vitamins that your body can't make. Because you have 33 essential vitamins. Half of it your body can make naturally. The other half you have to get from food. So I actually get the other half from the barley grass and the wheatgrass. Yeah, that. And what else I take? I drink. Well, if I can't get it, like I'll go to Prospect Park or Central Park and dig up some dandelions and stuff, and like not all of them, but I'll get like a good one or two dandelion plants and get the roots. Like you could use the whole plant actually. Like the green part you can eat in the salad. I'll eat that with apple cider vinegar. I'll just put some apple cider vinegar on it, or the leaves. I'll make a tea with it. Sometimes I'll put it in the salad too. Not the leaves, I'm sorry, the yellow part, the flower part. I'll either make a tea with it or I'll just put that in the salad too. And um and the reason why I go to the park is because they don't put no pesticides in it. Where I live, the dandelions do grow, but they put a lot of rat poison down because we got a lot of rats here in Manhattan. It's a problem. So I don't mess with it over here. But in the parks where they like to keep it more natural and stuff like that, I'll go over there and get it. And then the root, I use the root. I'll like chop up the root, roast it up, and I'll make a tea with it. I'll drink tea with that. So yeah, I'll use the whole dandelion. I don't even waste it. I use the whole dandelion. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Helen. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, but it takes discipline, and I do the 30-day challenge, the 30-day challenge, because that gives me room to fuck up. you know, 7-day challenge, nah, I can't do, but 30-day challenge, okay, because this way I can have room to mess up. If I mess up, I don't have to start all over again. I can just get up and just keep on going. Don't look back. Just keep on going. Don't look back like Lot's wife. Just keep on going. Just get up and keep going. You ain't got to look back. Just, you know, keep going. Start from where you left off. Where you fell down at, get up and pick up from there and just keep going. That's what I do. That's what I do. So, and I do my Chloe routine every morning. I love my Chloe routine. I do a 10-minute intensive workout every morning, for the abs, the arms and everything, you know what I'm saying? Get rid of that because, I lost weight. So you don't want like nothing hanging over here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do that, the arms, the abs, the full core workout, 10 minutes. Oh my gosh, that is a workout. That be having me sweat. And then I have a whole playlist. So every 7 days, I do a new one. Every 7 days, I do a new one. And then on the end days of the month, like on the 29th, 30th, and 31st day of the month, I just take a rest. I take a rest. So I go by the moon calendar and I just rest those extra days, the extra Sundays. Yeah. So that's how I wanted to relate Lot's wife to these women and what's going on now, especially with the Black women in domestic violence situations, because she's always looking back. She doesn't let me put this can I put okay, I'm sorry y'all. This is a new here it is. Can I copy stream link? Wait, I don't know because I'm trying to get somebody to come up here. Um I don't know if this is it. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to put a link up here. Let me see. No, that's not it. Let me see. Uh, oh, okay. I think this is it. Okay. I think this is for anybody who might want to come up. I think that's it. Okay. I think that's it. If you want to come up. Um, yeah, you can come up and turn your camera off. You don't have to turn your camera on. But yeah, I just wanted to relate Lot to Lot's wife actually to the plight of the American Negro woman, especially those that's on here talking about they concerned about Black women making their little cash apps clap, making their little cash apps, and not even really offering a service, not even really offering any. What did Ezekiel say? Um, did not help the poor and the needy. Because what they're doing, like you got a whole YouTube channel talking about the demise of the American Negro woman. And like I said, you can watch that on cable TV. They got a whole industry, a whole industry. What Fatal Attraction? They don't show nothing but Black women up there. Like they got content for years. And how many seasons they've been up? Boy, I tell you, they got content for years. So it's no need to be redundant about it. And then people talking about, well, because nobody really talks about it. Child, please. Y'all all know somebody who getting their ass beat. Y'all all know somebody who getting their ass beat. Y'all all know somebody who's like, I'm sorry, I can't leave because that pain just too good. Y'all all know somebody like that. And then come up here with that fake concern. Like fake concern. Oh, I'm just so concerned about Black women. She getting homicided because she's too stupid to know that she shouldn't be messing with Black men. She should get her white penis and sit and rest in her femininity while she heals, and get her bills taken care of. But like I said in my last video, them men, first of all, they're Jewish. They're not white. They're Jewish and they're passing for white. So if you think you got you a white man, he ain't white. He Jewish, and more than likely he's doing some. Yeah, white men beat ass. They kill you too. they take you out. They take you out. They don't even play. They will take you out. Hell yeah, they beat ass. I mean, like, yeah, they do. They do. It was white women too that was coming to the domestic to the family justice center trying to get out of those relationships. Everybody but the black woman. Because somebody told her that, she need to be like Lot's wife and just be longing and yearning for that pain and that lifestyle. It's okay. Yeah, you're right. They do. They will take you out. They will take you out. But these chicks on here talking about if they even do, they might be lying because you don't even see their face. You don't see anything. And they claim that they hiding because they don't want to be doxxed. Well, all I'm gonna say is I don't care. If you feel froggy, you can jump. Don't test my gangster. Don't test my gangster because you don't want none of this. You don't want none of this. Okay, I promise you that. I promise you that you don't want none of this. All right. So I'm not worried about it. Wow. Oh yeah, and them Russian men too. Yeah, they hit on women. Let me tell you something. One of my stupid ass male cousins on my Facebook, Mrs. Queen, shared a fucking video like that. I'm sorry, but now I'm all hype. But yeah, he shared a video of a Russian dude. He knocked this chick out. They was at a bar. They was at a bar or something, and he must have said something. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but like I said, it's cosmic. It's against cosmic law, and it's a sin to put your hands on a woman. I don't care how evil and foul she is. Like that's a no no. That's a no no. And he put her he she was like she wasn't even. I think she slapped him like she was poking him. She was like going off on him and rushing, and then she slapped him. This dude turned around and knocked the shit out of her. He floored her. She fell on the floor. And my cousin, my male cousin, I unfriended him after that. After I commented on that shit, I unfriended him. I was like, you know what? We may be related, but that don't make us family. I was embarrassed about that because he shared that video talking about, yeah, I don't care. Any woman put their hands on me, I'm smacking the shit out of her. Like, and I just commented, well, you know what? I'm glad my sons know better than to put their hands on a woman. And I hope that your girlfriend, um, I hope that your baby mama leave you after seeing you sharing this video and saying it's okay for you to put your hands on a woman. Yeah, then I unfriended his dumb ass. That's the slave side of my family. That's my mother's side of the family. On my Facebook that you friends with me on, that's my mother's side. That's my mother's side. And I ain't like that shit at all. I don't care. I don't care if she was non-black. I don't like she's a woman and you're not supposed to put your hands on a woman, period. You're not supposed to do that. I don't care what level of melanin she is. I don't care. I don't care. You're not supposed to put your hands on a woman, period. That's just it. Period. You're not supposed to do that. And no, I haven't spoken to him since Strong and Humble. I don't fuck with people like that. I don't even care if they related. I don't fuck with people like that. Period. I don't. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you toxic, even if you are family, I don't fuck with you. I don't fuck with you. My family are as far as I'm concerned, my family are the ones that I gave birth to. That's my family. That's my family. I don't fuck with you if you toxic. I don't care who you are. Mother, brother, cousin, uncle, auntie. I don't care. If you toxic, I'm not messing with you. No, I don't. I haven't talked. I unfriended him. I unfriended him. He's not on my Facebook no more. He's not on my Facebook no more. Strong and humble. I don't fuck with him. I didn't like that shit at all. I didn't like that shit at all. Yeah, Mrs. Queen, I understand what you're saying, but it don't matter. Even if she fucking hit him, a man ain't supposed to put his hands on a woman, period. I don't give a fuck. It's like it's like I said, my own sons know not to do that. They know that naturally, biologically. I didn't have to indoctrinate them to that. They know that. And even if a woman tried to put their hands on them, they would not allow that. I said they would run. They're not going to stand there and be abused by a woman. They're not going to do that. They're not going to be in her cipher, in her circle, in her space. If she feels like she got to put her hands on them, they'll run. They will literally run before they even let a woman touch them like that. No, it's not happening. A man is not, I don't give up. I don't care if I don't care if she's toxic, evil, wicked, it don't matter. It is against cosmic law. It is a sin to put your hands. You don't do that. I don't care. She could be as toxic and evil and no good as my mother. And I'm using my mother as an example because she's not in my space. She's toxic, she's no good, and you know, it is what it is, but I would never put my hands on her. I would never put my hands on her. I would never do that. No matter how much she starved me. Oh yeah, when I said the other day that, I didn't know what it was like to starve, I did know what it was like to starve. That's when my mother was responsible for me and had custody of me. She had me starving. I used to steal food because I was hungry. Not even food. I used to steal candy and shit because I was hungry. Okay. My own cousin posted up a picture on Facebook of me at a young age, and it triggered me because in that picture I was emaciated. Like you can look and tell that I was like one of them starving kids in Africa and shit. Like real talk. Like real talk. But no matter how evil and wicked and toxic and a piece of shit that she was, I would never put my hands on her. I would never do that. It's against cosmic law. It's against natural law. You don't do that. You don't put your hands on a woman. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You just don't do that. If he hit her, she should have went and she should have left and got police. That's what she should have did. If she didn't have no males in her family or male friends or males in her neighborhood that could go and beat the crap out of that dude, she should have called police. She should have, but don't go fighting the man either because he can knock the shit out of you. He can knock the shit out of you. Don't fight a man. Like the only thing you can do is use a weapon against him, like a bullet or an arrow. Now, I wouldn't even suggest you use a knife, like something where you can be at a distance and use it, like a bullet or an arrow from. I love those things, the crossbows. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, because you can get those really easy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would never fight a man. I wouldn't fight a man. I would use a weapon. I would use a weapon against him, like a bullet or a crossbow or a flamethrower, somewhere I could be a distance from him. You understand what I'm saying? I would use something like that, but I would never put my hands on a man. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because I know for a fact a man is a man, even if he's gay, even if he's gay, because he's still a man and he will knock the shit out of you. Period. He will knock the shit out of you. Period. So I wouldn't even do that. Like she should have called police. She should have called police or got something. I've been lucky in my life to been surrounded by men who I've been lucky in my life to have been surrounded by men who did not like other men hitting on women. And if they knew that a man hit on a woman, they would go and beat the crap up out of that man. And they would do it in front of that woman. Now that's gangster. That's gangster. And I know some men who's done it. I've seen it. I've seen it. You know, like, no, 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 no. They don't play that. You know, I don't know what happened to those men today. They're not like that. They feel like it's okay to put their hands on a woman. Men like that don't exist anymore, but that was the divine masculine. And I knew men like that. Like they would not tolerate another man hitting, they would not tolerate a man hitting on a woman. And if this woman, if they found out, if they found out word of mouth, or if this woman came back and told them, they would go after that man, and they would literally jump him. They would jump him. And when I say jump him, like they would take turns on him one by one, you know, and he couldn't do nothing but stand there and get the shit beat out of by real men. You know what I'm saying? And I knew men like that. I don't know what's like, I don't know who's raising these people today. I really don't. Women, I don't know what kind of mothers they have that's raising them like that. I saw one woman out there encouraging her gay son to put her hands on a woman, and she wasn't even black. I think she was Latino. I saw that one time. I was so disgusted. This woman was black, and her son was gay. And this is when my boys was in high school, and I was coming back from the store, and I was like so disgusted with that. I was like, you know what? No wonder he like he is. She out here encouraging him to put his, and I wanted to I was hoping that somebody called police on his ass, you know, but you know how people are. They just standing out there watching and stuff like that. They believe they have the right to fight women, gay dudes. You must be talking about the black ones. Because, like I said, they the face of the LGBTQ. The white, Jewish, flamboyant, gay people, they don't, they don't, they don't hit women. The black ones do that. The black ones do that. And, you know, but you know, they the face of the LGBTQRSVU group, the black gay people. They are the face. They have their energy usurped to do the magic necessary in order to manifest whatever desires that this group needs to be realized, you know. And it's the black ones. They're the only ones that would hit women. Not even the flamboyant Jewish ones that's passing for white. You know, not even they would put their hands on a woman. Talk nasty about her, yes, they would definitely do that. Talk nasty about her, talk about her like she ain't shit. Verbally, um, be combative, yes, but as far as getting physical with her, they won't do that. They won't. I've never seen nothing like that happen. I've only seen the black ones. I've only seen the black ones act out like that, you know, but they got something to prove, you know. They got something to prove. The black gay people, they got something to prove. Cause even though they black, I heard one of them say that I heard one of them say on somebody's show here on YouTube that as a gay person, they get more rights than being a black person. And the first thing I thought of was James Baldwin, one of my favorite authors, who happened to be gay, but he was black first. He was always black first, and he always fought for black people human rights. never fought for gay rights. He always fought for black rights. And I figured there was a reason why the LGBTQISBU community never mentioned Jane Baldwin, because he didn't identify himself by his who he liked to give his penis to. He didn't identify himself by who he liked to screw. He didn't identify himself by his sexuality. He always identified himself as black. And in the LGBTQSBU community, that's a paradox. You can't do that. You could only be gay and that's it, or whatever, and that's it. You can't be anything else but gay. You can't be black. You can't be black. And they the ones that need to prove everything, the black ones. They got a whole lot to prove. They got to prove that they just as good as the white gay people or the Jewish gay people. They're just as good, even though they broke and they got no money. And even the celebrity gay people who are partnered up with white people, notice that they bringing in all the money, that they're working, and their white partner is sitting in their femininity. Like I was telling y'all about the white man and the black lady, and the white dude walking around looking like Mr. Mom in his socks and robe and these shades. I'm like, yeah, I could sit at home and I got me a wife that make $100,000 a year. He showed his black wife in the background, child. And then you got what's her name? Candace Owens, you know, with her white husband, and she hustling hard on YouTube 4 or 5 times a week, every day, making videos. Child. Well, it's the same thing with the gay people and the gay black people who's partnered up with white people, like that actor, the one that I'm so sick of talking about black people. Like, I'm like, you just need to go with your white man and live your best life. Why are you worried about what black people think about your gay ass? Like, nobody's thinking about you. Like, what's that gay dude name? He's the one that wore a dress at the Grammys or some shit. He played in that show. Which was good. I liked that show. Pose. He played in that TV show Pose. I actually liked that. That was really, really good. It was based on the LGBTQ community back in the 70s in New York City. Yeah, I actually liked that one. But he played the main one in there. It was him. And I didn't know he had HIV in real life, but he played like he had HIV or AIDS in the show. But he's married to a white dude, and he married to a white dude. He married to a white dude, and I'm pretty sure he doing all the grinding, right? Just like old boy that just got fired from TV from telling that Indian dude that he don't know what it's like to be a black American. What's that dude from CNN? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The gay dude, the gay black dude from CNN. He got a white man. Everybody with their white man. Like, I don't want a white man. I just want to be white. America, can you just make me white? Just pass legislation to make me white. That's all. I don't want a white man. That's okay. Just make me white, please. Thank you. Can I be white? Can I please be white? I want to be white so I can start me a GoFundMe like Miss Karen did at Bellevue Hospital and get me $95,000. You know what I'm saying? In less than 24 hours. Please, America, please make me white. I'm begging you, make me white. I ain't black no more. I ain't black no more. Make me white. Yes, Don Lemon, Mrs. Queen. Yeah, he got him a white man. Did y'all know that white man thinking about leaving him? I knew it. I was like, when I heard this, Lord says, like how old Dirty Beth said, no. When I heard this, no, lost his job. I was like, I bet you his man gonna leave him now because he's gonna be broke ass no. And don't nobody want a broke ass no, especially a white dude, a white Jewish dude at that, right? Come find out, I swear to God, like next day I wrote, yeah, they having all kinds of marital problems. They having all kinds of it's like these people know what I'm thinking. They be paying attention. They be paying attention to me. I'm telling you. 'Cause the next day it was in the news. So yeah, Don Lennon and his little lover, his marriage partner. Yes, they've been having marriage problems, and his man is gonna leave him. I was like, damn, yeah, because don't nobody look, dude, you broke. You ain't got no job no more. He don't want you if you ain't got no job. Because I see it don't matter if you a black man with a white man or if you a black woman with a white man. You got to be working. You got to be on your job. It ain't no resting in your femininity. You on YouTube 5 times a week making videos like Candace Owens and other people who don't show their face, who swearing up and down they married to a white man. Go figure. I know, right, Miss Queen? That shit is so funny. I don't want a white man. I just want to be white. Can I just be white, America? Please, just make me white. I'm not black no more. I promise you, I'm not black no more. Just make me white. Just make me a white. Make me a white girl. I want to be white. I want to be white. I'm serious, but yeah. So we got them salty people like Lot's wife. She turned into a pillow. So that was symbolic. It's in Ezekiel. Let me put that in there. Ezekiel 16, because that's exactly what it is, what's going on. And this whole thing about Sodom and Gomorrah, it was about women being violated. I don't know, they focus on the man like in penis thing, but the whole thing was really about women being violated. I'm serious, strong and humble. I want to be white. I ain't black no more. Shoot, I done been through away my what they call it, my black card. I done tore it up, burned it into pieces, and did a whole fucking ritual on that shit. I did a whole ritual on that. Like I ain't black. Nobody I gave birth to is black. I ain't black no more. Later for that. But yeah, I do want to talk about that Sodom and Gomorrah, and I want is analogous. Lot's wife is analogous to the American Negro woman. Either she looking back, and longing for that horrible life that she had, or she being salty to the other woman, feigning concern, acting like she concerned about, I'm just concerned about black women. I just want them to, not really. Not really. People are on here on these social medias lying to y'all, and they just I tell you, they not even good liars at that, because they be saying one thing, and like when you lie a lot, you can't keep up with your lies, right? You can't keep up with your lies. That's why I don't even bother. I just tell the truth. I don't care if you don't like it, you just don't like it. At least I ain't gotta remember what lie I said. You know what I'm saying? I just tell the truth. Even if I gotta tell on myself, I'm gonna tell the truth. Okay? I'm gonna speak truth, even if I gotta tell on myself. You can't fuck with a God that don't give a fuck. All right? I mean, the God in the Bible should have told you that already. But hey, don't fuck with a God being that don't give a fuck. I will tell the truth, even if it's telling on myself. But these people be on here lying. they be on here. They be on here lying. I've heard some shit. They say one thing and then 6 months later they say another thing. Like people that don't show their faces talking about that they black woman. Now I'm starting to wonder, like, are you really black? A black woman? Like, I'm not black no more, but y'all know what I'm saying. Are you really a mother of humanity? When I say mother of humanity, you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm like, are you really a mother of humanity? Like, I don't see your face, but you claiming up and down you for black women, you concerned about black women, but you come on here and you say some fuck shit like, oh, they don't even like that slave here. By the way, I'm sorry. Well, I don't apologize if my hair is too nappy for you. Okay. If my nappy hair offends you, I don't apologize for it. But yeah, this bitch came on here and said some shit like that. Like they were talking about black men who don't like black women. because they like women who got natural hair, whose natural hair that a comb can go through very easily. Not somebody like me that got to do all types of shit and use it. Do I got my comb out here? And use that big old afro comb, with the wide teeth. And that's what you should use. If you got nappy hair like this, that's what you should use. Don't be using them. Well, I don't put no perms or nothing in my hair. So my natural hair, I have to use a wide tooth comb. I don't even play. I use a pick, really. I don't even like to use the comb. I use a pick because a lot of the Kemetu people, a lot of them were buried with their favorite wigs and their picks. And I said, well, if it's good for the ancestors, it's good for me too. So I really use picks. I got two different kinds of picks. I usually use the Afro comb to part, or I use the little fine rat tail comb to part too. But I don't even like combing my hair with that Afro comb. I use the pick. It works a whole lot better for me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this bitch was like, they were talking about black men who don't like black women who got nappy hair like me. They like ambiguous women that you gotta ask who you mix with, who have natural hair, but it ain't nappy like mine. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Like my biracial cousins, right? Like them. They don't got nappy hair like me. So I heard this bitch say, yeah, they don't like that Harriet Tubman slave hair. I'm like, what the? No, this bitch did not. No, this bitch did not speak about my ancestor Harriet Tubman and call my hair slave hair. Like, you know, like like it's derogatory. Like it's something wrong with it. Like it was something wrong with Harriet Tubman. Like something wrong with my nappy hair. First of all, I'm gonna tell you like this: don't nobody call my nappy hair slave hair, except for my white aunties, the mothers of my biracial cousins. They the only ones that would say some shit like that. Normally they'll say like nook hair. Like I can't comb that nook hair, and they'll get one of us to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Even though their hair ain't even nappy like mine, like where I would need like an afro pick or a comb to go through their hair ain't nappy like that. It's just like really, really, really curly. So it still gets tangled because of the really, really fine curls. You know what I'm saying? This bitch said slave here. Girl, all that damn fake hair in they damn head, child, please. And those women, they hear that they be buying, those women who cut their hair, they grow it for spiritual reasons. I would not want to wear somebody else's hair on my head. I wouldn't want to do that. You bring all types of energy to you that way. You don't know what kind of energy you picking up because hair is made from your cells in your body. How about that? Your hair is your actual cells. You know, it's cells coming out of your scalp from under your armpits, wherever your hair grows. Those are cells, right? Child, I don't know the type of energy or spirit, whatever you taking with that hair that you taking from those women that grow their hair in China and in India and cut their hair off because they can't they need the money. That's the only reason why they do it is so they could eat and they could feed their family. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That shit is crazy. But yeah, this bitch was like slave here and had like don't like that slave. They call them something else. I forgot what they call them. She was like, they don't like that slave, Harriet Tubman slave here. I'm like, who the fuck says that? Who the fuck calls my nappy hair slave here? Unless they're the aunties, the white aunties of my biracial cousins. Like I expect them to say something like that. Not somebody who consider themselves black to say something like this. But again, you don't see this bitch face. She don't show her face. She don't show her face. So I don't know. Now that she says, because I don't know any black person that will call their hair Harriet Tubman slave hair. I don't know any black person that will do that. I don't know any black, a biracial person, yeah, a white person, a white woman of a biracial child, yeah. But somebody who's like me, where there is no mistaking that I am Negro, where you won't have to ask what I'm mixed with. It's very clear just by looking at me that I am Negro. I have to make it clear that I'm an American Negro, but still, like, there is no question about it, right? A person like me would not call my fucking nappy hair slave, Harriet Tubman slave hair. I got so disgusted when I heard that bitch say that. I was like, you know what? I'm never listening to these. I'm not. I can't. Like, what kind of demonic bitches is on here misleading other young black women who already got a low self-esteem about themselves? And I'm pretty sure all of them got nappy hair like me. And you on here talk about some Harriet Tubman slave hair. Girl, boy, I tell you, I was so disgusted with that. And then another thing, I'm gonna just say it like this, because you got to keep up with your lies. Like, you have to keep up with your lies. Those women are not black, Mrs. Queen. Don't no black woman say no shit like that. Don't no black woman. I'm not black no more, but I'm telling you, don't no black woman who look like me and you say shit like that. We don't call our hair slave hair. Have you ever called your daughter's hair slave hair? I know you haven't. I know you didn't call your daughter's hair slave hair, and I know you never told your daughter that she had slave hair. I know you never said that to your baby girl. And I don't even have to be there with you to even know that you never said that to your baby girl. Black women don't say that about their hair. We don't call our hair Harriet Tubman slave hair like this bitch did. She's not black. She don't show her face on YouTube, so she can come on here and say that she black. And then she could say that she God. We don't know. We ain't never seen what she looked like. We don't know. We never seen what she looked like. She could say she God, for all we know. You know what I'm saying? Then you got women on here who already got low self-esteem. Black women got the lowest self-esteem, especially black women with Negro features like mine and nappy hair like mine. They are the most with the lowest self-esteem. And she's gonna come on here and say that, knowing that a bunch of women who look like me, young women, because I'm half a century years old. I'm comfortable. I love myself, and you know, even when I was in first, second, third grade, and they used to try to laugh at me and call me nappy headed and say that I was ugly because I was black. That never really bothered me. It never really bothered me. I like, yeah, it made me want to get violent and just fight, but I never felt like less of a person because they was called. I always thought it was something wrong with them because these were black people saying this to me, not the white kids. These were the black kids saying this to me. Oh, you nappy headed, you ugly. You know, that was just a cause for a fight. I used to fight a lot. I was little. I used to fight a lot. I was very angry when I came into consciousness, and it wasn't. It was because I didn't want to be here. Like, I knew I didn't belong here, and I was like miserable already at 3 years old. I remember as far back as when I was 3. So yeah, but even then, I've always been comfortable. I always felt that everybody else was slow. Like, people was not, I'm not gonna say that I was thought that I was better than anybody else. I'm gonna say that I was different, that I was not like these people that for some reason I came into consciousness and I was surrounded by. I was not like these people at all. I was not, yeah, you're right, strong and humble, and do start early. And I remember as early as I was 3 years old, and I was always comfortable with who I was. I thought everybody else had a problem. It wasn't me. Strong and humble. As far as I was concerned, everybody else was the problem one. It wasn't me. So when those little black boys was calling me and little black girls with the good hair was calling me black and ugly and nappy headed, shit, I just used to fight. I didn't feel like my self-esteem, like my self-esteem didn't fall on the ground because I thought in my mind they were the ones who had the problem. And because they were the ones who had the problem, I was gonna fix it for them by smacking them or punching them in the face or something like that. I was gonna fix the problem for them because it wasn't me who had the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was in my head, you know. So, but she's talking to a whole lot of women and young women in particularly black women who look like me, who has very low self-esteem about themselves. And they've been told this all their life, and it bothered them from the time they've been told that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like that at all. I didn't like how she called my hair Harriet Tubman slave hair. I thought that was disgusting. And I said, I'm not, this bitch ain't black. There's something wrong. This bitch ain't black. Because the only people I know who will talk like that, like I said, are my white aunties, the mothers of my biracial cousins. Okay? That's the only people I know that will call my hair like slave hair or Harriet Tubman hair or no hair. No hair, Those are the only people I know that would do something like that. And then I heard somebody, well, let me just say it like this, because people be lying on here, you know what I'm saying? I worked in the healthcare industry for a long time. And the only reason why I got involved with it was because my oldest son, he was diagnosed at 2 years old with asthma and allergies. And when I took him and he always had ear infections. And this is when I moved to Atlanta. And when I took him to the hospital, I think it was Grady Hospital, and they wanted me to bring him back for some type of surgery for his ear, to put some shit in his ear. I was like, you know what? I'm not finna bring my child over here to let these people experiment on him like he's some damn laboratory monkey. So I made it my business then to like really take my studies seriously, study anatomy and physiology, basic chemistry, and basic physics. You know what I'm saying? And I got into the healthcare field. I started out as going to be a nurse. I started out as that, and that's when the field was changing. But I noticed how they made it difficult for people who look like me to actually go through those harrowing 2 years for your associate's degree in nursing and then taking the state exam or the national exam to sit for the license for nursing. They make it very difficult for us to do. And I was like, you know something? I didn't, one of my professors in school, because I was going to leave, and I was like, I need to work now. I can't do this. I gotta go to work now. I need to do something that I could do. She didn't even want me to leave. She was a black lady. She was trying to convince me to stay and to stick with it, like, because she refused to give me another test. I could have sat for another exam where I could have done like medical assisting, something close to that. And she didn't want to give me that exam. She didn't want to give me that exam. She was like, nope. She was like, I know you're ready, but you can do this. And she tried to encourage me to do it. But at that point I was like, no, I need to work. I need something to do. So I left and I started doing medical assistant. That's what I started out doing, right? As the years progressed, I got into other things, but I'm not even going to get into it. I was saying that to say, because I started out as a nurse. And the students, when it, like, I'm going to tell you right now, nurses don't do anything. Nurses do paperwork, administrative work. That's why I was like, I didn't really want to do this. They had me go through all of this harrowing shit just to come out and do paperwork. Like, you know, that's all they do. They do paperwork. The certified nursing assistants, where you only go to school for like 2 weeks or 3 months for, or the home attendants or the personal attendants or personal care assistants, they call it. They they do no, they don't even pass meds anymore, Queen. The med techs do that. Medicine technicians, and all you have to do is be a certified nursing assistant to pass medication. Unless if you're in a hospital, unless you're working at a nursing home. At a nursing home, you have to be a licensed practical nurse. You don't even have to be a registered nurse. You can be a licensed practical nurse. But as I was leaving the industry, they were starting to train regular nursing assistants to go around to the how you say to the people in the nursing homes and passing out medication, but they had to go through a certain training, and only certain nursing home companies did this. They had to go through a certain training to do that, and they would get a certificate for it from the company. And I think they used to call them medicine technicians, med tech for short. So it's not a medical technician. Don't get that confused because you need a 4-year degree for that. But a medicine technician, and they called it for short a med tech. And those were like certified nursing assistants that will go, who are already certified as a nursing assistant, that could train as a medicine technician to pass out the medication. But in a hospital, well, in a hospital, yeah, the nurses, well, not even the how you say the LPNs, the practical nurses can gives out the medication. The nurses really don't do anything anymore. All they do is paperwork. Really, all they really do is paperwork. They don't really do anything anymore. It's the nursing assistants, the home attendants, and the licensed practical nurses and the personal care assistants that do all the work. They do all the labor I'm talking about, like changing the bed, changing the sheets, changing the diapers, putting in the catheters, uh, all of that stuff. They do all checking the temperature, um, uh, vital signs, phlebotomy. They do phlebotomy now. You can get an extra certificate. So now you can do phlebotomy and EKG as a certified nurse assistant. They call that personal care assistant now. Yeah, but they do all the labor work is what I'm saying. Don't no nurses put in catheters in any penises or anybody's urethra, whether it's in the penis or in the vagina. No nurse does that. No nurse does that. I'm telling you that now. No nurse does that. And I've heard somebody say that they was a nurse and they be putting in catheters. Nurses don't do that. Certified nurse assistant. Nursing assistant where you only need like 2 weeks or 3 months of an education. They do that. They do that. And I'm telling you because when I was in nursing school and when we were in certain classes, some of the classes were like labor classes. Like they called it practical classes, right? Where we had to learn how to make beds with the hospital corners and, like military style. We had to learn how to make the bed, turn the patient over if the patient was in the bed. Like we had to learn all the basic what nursing assistants do. And the thing was so funny. This was a joke around the nursing students, right? And we used to really ignore our professor with this. And she would be like, we all be standing there. She'd be like, okay, how do you make up the bed? And our joke was, call the nursing assistant. I'm going to be a nurse. I ain't making up no bed. That was out there. We call it the nurse assistant. We ain't making up no bed. We're going to be a nurse. What we look like making up beds. That was the joke. Like, nurses don't make up beds. Nurses don't put catheters. We had to learn how to make up a bed, yes. We had to learn how to put catheters in people, yes. We had to learn how to do all that labor work. But in reality, when you're working as a nurse, whether it's in a hospital or whether it's in a nursing home, you're not doing that. The nursing assistant literally does that, not you. So it's people on here lying about their occupations, lying about their occupations, and I believe lying about whether or not they black or not, talk about slave hair, Harriet Tubman slave hair. Child, people on here saying all kinds of things, all kinds of things. Yeah, Dr. Wilson. Yeah, actually, Yvette Cornell, Dr. Yvette Cornell. I think she got an honorary doctorate degree. Actually, she is actually picking up from where Dr. Frances Cress Wilson left off. She doesn't realize it, but spiritually she is. I know Yvette Cornell said something about uh, Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. All she talked about was melanin, and she actually went to the same school. She went to the same school. Yvette Cornell went to the same school that Dr. Frances Cress Wilson not only graduated from, but also had her own psychology center there at Howard University. I'm sure they took it down when she passed away. But Yvette Cornell, even though she may not know it, but she's actually continuing the work of Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. And I'm not speaking of the mental science. She's more on the political science route, but it's still an aspect of Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, because a lot of things that Yvette Cornell talks about in politics, Dr. Frances Cress Wilson mentioned, like reparations. She asked why we still paying for our groceries when we should be getting it free. She asked why we paying taxes or property taxes when we shouldn't be. You know, she was asking things like that. She spoke about reparations, maybe not in the check wise, but she was speaking about it like we shouldn't be paying taxes, we shouldn't be paying for our groceries, we shouldn't be paying rent for generations, is what she said. And she even said that if reparations were to be paid to us today, that we would be owed $33 trillion, every person, not as a group, but every individual person. She came up with that number, including interest and everything. She said 33 trillion is what every individual American descendant of slavery is owned. She's spoken about that many times. So yeah, Yvette Cornell might not know it, but she is continuing that soul work. She's continuing that work. She may not see it, but she is. So yeah. But these heifers on YouTube not showing their face and popping all of that shit and talking what they don't even know. It's disgusting. Salty, like Lot's wife. I put it up there, Ezekiel. Salty like Lot's wife. When she turned into a pillar of salt, that was symbolic of her being salty. And I'm going to repeat, she and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. I know them bitches are overweight and could miss a meal or two or three or four or five or six, right? Because I know there was some days during the pandemic when I could have missed a meal or two or three or four or six. And I did actually, when I started fasting intermittently. Okay. Her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. They feigning all this concern for Black women. They don't really care. They did not help the poor and needy. This is what it says in Ezekiel. They did not help the poor and needy. They were haughty and did detestable things, you know. And that's what, symbolic of Lot's wife turning into a pillar of salt. These bitches are salty as fuck. Salty as fuck, talking about some. Yeah, I care about the Black woman. I'm just out here trying to help the Black woman. right? You trying to help the black woman by telling, just stepping already on her low self-esteem, talk about some, yeah, you ain't got nothing but slave, Harriet Tubman here. Child, strong women produce strong men. Ever since I met you, that's all it's been true. My sons don't play, and I don't apologize to anybody who's offended by me saying that. I love my sons. I don't apologize for it. And I'm not gonna lose no sleep over it if you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And you the same, they usually the same type women that I counsel my son against. Like I don't want them like like no femalians. Like I counsel them against the manimals and against the femalians. Like, yo, we equal opportunity over here. You don't want none of these low vibrating frequency people in your space, especially now since you got your own space. You don't need that in your life. You just don't. You just don't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Our people need help. You know, it's two bloodlines. And I noticed that the false bloodline are mostly on here on YouTube, not showing their face. And then you got some that are showing their face, but and they're disguising themselves with their rhetoric, with their spit bubble rhetoric. They're disguising themselves with that and playing on the dysfunction of of the mother of humanity, particularly the American Negro woman, because it's like I was saying in the last live, the she is like I'm gonna just say like that. The European was like the American Negro is the true Jew and the chosen people. First of all, we're not Jew. The Jews are the original Jews who are the Ashkenazi Khazarians. Those are the original Jews. I'll get into that but in private lives. But we are the chosen people, right? And I'm gonna say that the women are. And I'm gonna tell you, Spirit told me that if we don't get it together, then that's it for the whole world. Black people on other parts of the world and other continents all over this world are screwed if we don't get it together. Some people don't like that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't like that responsibility, but it is what it is. If we don't make it over here, it's like Yvette Cornell always say, everybody rests on our shoulders. I know she's talking about it in a political way, but you have to look on the flip side of that, on the spiritual aspect of that. Everybody standing on our shoulders. If you were worldly and if you could see past your own neighborhood and you could see people in the rest of the world, you will see that these people emulate us. They emulate us, not Black people in Africa, not Black people in Latin America, not Black people in the Caribbean. Nobody's emulating them. They're emulating us, people from all over the world, not just melanated people, not just people on the continent of Africa, not just people on the continent of Latin America, not just people in the Caribbean islands, people in Asia, people in Europe, people all over the world are emulating us, you know? And if you can just see that, I think maybe you'll start to see things a little differently, at least in another perspective, instead of that same perspective of just right there in your own hood, what's going on. If you can just see what's going on in the world, you know, and if you can see that everybody is emulating us, like we are the chosen people. And I'm telling you, Spirit already told me That's why I had to do this ministry. That I had to do it. I had to do this ministry. Like I said, any of your donations are not. I'm not using them to pay my bills. I'm not using them, to make ends meet. I barely want to come on here once a week. I barely, even on my ministry, when I do my private lives, I'm only committing to once a week. you know, I'm only committing to once a week. If I do anything outside of that, that's an extra blessing for you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not really trying to commit to anything more than once a week. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not using it to pay my bills. I'm not using it to feed myself, to feed my family or whatever. It's not for that. It's literally for charity. It's literally to help women, and particularly American Negro women. That's really what it's for. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube saying that, but I'm actually about it. I'm about it. So my ministry is actually about it, helping women, and particularly ADOS women. Now I'm for all women. I'm for all women, but my main focus is on ADOS women, and that's not to say that I won't help you if you're not an American Negro woman. You understand what I'm saying? I'm for all women, regardless of their level of melanin. You understand? Because we are the mother of humanity. So regardless of your level of melanin, I'm your mama. You know what I'm saying? So I'm for you because you're a daughter. You know what I mean? I may not literally gave birth to daughters, but I have spiritual daughters. I'm not a feminist. I'm a mother. Okay? I'm not a womanist. I'm a mother. Okay? And this ministry is to help women, literally help women. I care what happens to women. So any of your donations that I'm literally begging for is to help other women, because the ministry, I want to help women through the ministry. Like I said, I can't, I have my board of directors. I can't spend any money without approval from the board of directors. So, and even the funds that I have it listed. So you can even donate to certain funds. Meaning, if you donate to this fund, that's what this money is going to be used for. Because that's how I have it um, documented with the IRS, basically. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm really here to help women. But it's like I said, Spirit told me that if we don't make it, then everybody, the whole world, the whole humanity is just screwed, regardless of of their level of melanin. And I think that there's a certain group of people, soulless people, that recognize that. That's why the rush for AI and what they call that technology where you uh, I call it cyborg cloning, or cyborg technology, where you can put your brain in a computer chip and then put it in a robot. That's why there's a rush for that. I forgot what kind of technology they call it, but they are really, like, they have some stuff that's out already. And that's why, because they know that, basically humanity is hurling towards extinction. You know, they know that humanity is hurling towards extinction, and they want to uh, protect themselves, even though they don't have a soul or anything. They want to be able to still live on, even if they have to live in an artificial, uh, shell, so to speak, lack of a better term, an artificial shell. So yeah, it's it's a race for that. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot going on. It's like they already know. They're preparing for it. They're preparing for it. They're preparing for the end of because they're preparing for the end. They know what time it is. this is the like I said, Black Sabbath made that song, the beginning or the end, like 10 years ago. And I was like, well, I knew it was the alignment of the planets. I mean, you got to listen to that song. It's really deep. And he's asking some very deep questions, the beginning of the end, about 10 years ago. And I was like, well, the alignment of the planet happened. We're going into the new sun cycle and everything. Is this the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning? You know what I'm saying? I was trying to answer his question in the song. You know what I'm saying? Is this the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning? And I finally realized 10 years later that this is actually, it's the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of the end of a whole era, a whole lot. It could also be the end of humanity, because now that we're in the divine feminine and the great mother, she has three parts to her. And she has three parts to her. One is she can build, she can destroy, and she can give life. Those are her three parts. She can give life, she can build, and she can destroy. And she's not sure like what she want to do at this point. Like, Lot asked the angel to ask God, just find 50 people. Just find 50 people that's worth living. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to destroy none of these cities. You know what I mean? And we could just all live and be happy. So I think she's looking for those 50 people. Maybe she reduced it to 10. I don't know. You know, but she can, like, she will not, our divine mother, our great mother, she will not, what I'm trying to say is she will not have any qualms. She would not have any problem with destroying everything, eliminating everything, annihilating everything, and then start building all over again. She has no. She will do it without hesitation, and it's happened already. It's happened before. It's happened before, and that's what they call cataclysms, because catastrophic events. I think I put that in one of my other videos. It's happened before, and it's happened on more than one occasion. I believe it's happened almost every sun cycle, and we have 13 sun cycles, and each sun cycle lasts 2,000 years. This is 2023, so we are in the second year. We're in the second year of the sixth sun cycle. So we got about another 1,998,000 years to go. And within all of those years, she can destroy and rebuild all over again. And like I said, it's happened already. It's happened on many sun cycles before us. And every sun cycle, when that happens, humans tend to forget everything. They forget their origins, they forget who they are, where they came from, what happened, what's going on. It's like starting all over again, like a brand new baby being born, and he has to learn how to walk and how to sit up and how to eat. Is the same thing. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. She don't like what's going on right now, and it just remains to be seen. I want my ministry. I want to help as many people as I can. Like I said, I'd be surprised if I get like 5 people. Lot had the nerve to talk about 50. The angel was like, please, that will never happen. We ain't never gonna find 50 people to You better come down a notch or two. You better come down. Then they finally decided on 10. They were literally negotiating this number, okay? And finally decided on 10 people. I'm not even giving that. I'm giving like 5 people. 5 people in my ministry, we good. We good. You know what I'm saying? But it's it's rough. It's rough. So I just wanted to bring that analogy with Lot wife. And just to remind you that Sodom and Gomorrah was about women being sexually violated and mutilated and her body parts put all over the 12 tribes of Israel. That almost sounds like the same story with Tiamat when when the immortal god beings fought with Tiamat and Kingu, you know, when they fought with her and got into a war with Tiamat, that's what the earth first was Tiamat. Even though the story is symbolic, but in that story, they actually mutilated Tiamat and they cut her up into different pieces. They mutilated her, and then her blood became like the oceans. Her veins became like the rivers and the lakes. You know, like all of her organs became certain parts of the earth, like the mountains, the hills, the grass, everything. Her body parts was used for every part of this earth, daughter earth, as we see here today. That was the first version of Earth. She was bigger than she is now, and she was called Tiamat. So in this symbolic story, they violated her and cut her into certain pieces and made all of her organs, blood, veins, everything, her body parts became all of the parts of earth that we're on today, which is where you get in the Bible where Jesus, I'm telling you his name is Jesus, not Jesus, where Jesus said, eat of the cannibalistic part, where he says, eat of my body or eat of my flesh or whatever, and drink of my blood. You know, I think the red wine they give in Catholic Church is supposed to be his blood, and the little round piece of bread they gave you was supposed to symbolize his flesh, right? It's symbolic. That's where that comes from. Like you're eating of her flesh. Anything that grows is of the first goddess or the first mother earth, Tiamat. You know, and you're eating of her flesh. That was a commandment. Eat of her flesh. That was a commandment, actually. You know, so yeah, and they use all of her body parts, which is now the earth that you see now, and that's a Sumerian story. So I'm not making that up. You can look that up. I'm just um, interpreting the symbology for you. That was symbolic of a whole lot of other stuff I don't want to really get into right now. But that story with Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah and all the versions of it, where they were violating these women, and all the these versions of the story, these women were being violated, just like Tiamat. And it's like, to me, time and time again, the daughter is being violated and she needs to be healed, just like daughter Earth. She needs to be healed. And she's in turmoil. All of the daughters on earth are in turmoil. They're not whole. Everybody needs to be healed. And this is what I said. Our divine mother have no problem like what the Abraham God did according to Genesis, or according to the prophet of Shem in the non-commodity text, what the demon in human form did, you know, because God is a demon and a demon is a God. But what he did was to destroy, and she has no problem doing that. She has no problem doing that and starting all over. That's why I be like I said in my last video, You got white men who can soulless people who control the world and who's threatening, excuse me, who's threatening to do nuclear bombs and stuff and just kill off the earth and kill off everybody. And I'm like they need to just stop popping shit and go ahead already. Like, just go ahead and just do whatever it is you feel like you got to do. If you feel like you got to drop some bombs and you think that you're going to go in some underground bunker and be safe, well, you're going to have a surprise there. You understand what I'm saying? But go ahead and do what you feel like you got to do. If you think you got to destroy the whole earth and throw your nuclear bombs, go ahead and do it. Stop popping all that shit. Stop slinging your ballots all over the place, east and west. Stop slinging your ballots. Go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it. Stop popping shit. I hate people like that. Just talk a lot of damn shit. Like be about it. Like, be about it. Go ahead. But people think that, they're gonna be safe in these underground bunkers. They're not, because the ancient ones are under there. They never left. They're still there. They're waiting to resurface. You know what I'm saying? They never left. Some of them did, but there's some that they're here. They're they're here and they're waiting to resurface. So if you think you're gonna go underground, and you might be food for the gods. You know what I'm saying? Literally, you just may be food for the gods. That will be your position after you go ahead with all the nuclear bombs and think you're gonna run underground, because, like I said, they can't leave this planet. That's why they rushing into all of that technology where they can leave the planet in artificial shells, like put their brain in the chip and then put that chip or their consciousness in the chip. And they do have that technology. They have that technology. Put their brain in the chip and then put that chip in an artificial body. And then they could probably leave the planet like that. But then, have you ever noticed that, first of all, like the pictures on Mars are that they show us on NASA are a hell of a lot clearer than the pictures of perps that they showed us that violated a woman somewhere. Like, those pictures are always grimy and not good pictures, but the pictures on Mars are crystal clear. Crystal clear. Like, have you ever thought about that? And have you ever thought about how they used to, well, maybe some of you were just children around that time, or not even born yet, but back in the 90s, they used to say that the base on Mars and the pyramids on Mars was just a bunch of dirt piled up, made by storms, windstorms on Mars. And these windstorms just shaped these pyramids in this thing on Mars that looks like a face. This is what they were saying in the 90s. Don't take my word for it. It's out there. Entertainment Tonight even did a special on that. I think it was like in 1997 when they was talking about the pyramid on Mars, and they was like, yeah, NASA got these pictures, but it looked like pyramids in the face on Mars. But it's just dirt. They said that was piled up from the wind. Have you ever noticed that they're up in Mars, and they told us that they send their rovers up there? Have you ever wondered why their rovers have not been to where they told us that face and pyramid was a pile of dust? And if it has been, they ain't gonna tell us about it. Well, there's a reason for that, but I'm not gonna get into that here. So, um, I'm not gonna get into that here. I'm not gonna get into that here. I'm not gonna talk about the people that they put up there for slave work or none of that. I ain't gonna talk about that here. I'm not even gonna do it. Right. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off this live. I hope y'all learned something today about Sodom and Gomorrah. Um, I'm gonna come back next week. I want to talk about. I want to get into the Mayan Oracle and the readings that I do with that, and how I'm gonna use that as a tool. As I'm just gonna use it as a tool as part of my spiritual life coaching. So I want to talk about that because it's not like the tarot, but we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna show you the cards and everything. I'll do maybe one. I can do one reading, live, and so you'll see what it is. But I'm gonna use that as a tool for the spiritual life coaching, and yeah. So we'll talk about that next time. That's if nothing else comes up. But I just had to come and talk about the Sodom and Gomorrah thing and about the ministry that I want to. I'm gonna have a fund for women in domestic violence and try to get them out of those situations. But they have to want to get out those situations. Like they can't be like Lot's wife and looking back, longing for that life, that they had. So that'll be it for now. I'll see you guys later. Well, strong and humble people are just um that's ego. That's ego. That it's a whole lot of ego going on out here. People out here, it's just a whole lot of ego. That's ego. That's all that is. That's nothing but ego. That's nothing but ego. It's a lot of people, they got these big egos that need to be fed. They always got to be right. Somebody always got to be telling them something, to give them attention. You know, it's just an ego thing. They don't even have any like they don't even have any real uh they don't even have any real secret knowledge, you know, to share with other people. They it's just an ego thing. 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 Yeah, Mrs. Queen, but not everybody can be helped. Everybody's not gonna make it. Everybody's not gonna make it. Nobody made it in Sodom and Gomorrah and those other two cities that had to get the brunt of it because that God was a jealous God, Abraham's God. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna make it. Not everybody's gonna make it. Yeah, Jada Swirls. I'm pretty sure that a lot of them in that space are non-black women. I'm I'm pretty sure about that too. Like I know they don't have Negroid features like me and nappy hair, because I would never call my nappy hair no damn Harriet Tubman slave hair. First of all, I would never even talk about Harriet Tubman in a derogatory way. You know what I'm saying? I would never do it like I'm talking about her in a derogatory way. Yes, she was a slave, and I've spoken about her in one of my Women's History Month videos. She was one of the first persons that I did, Harriet Tubman. She was a slave, but she got up and she didn't want to be a slave anymore. She wanted to leave, and she got herself out of that situation. And not only did she get herself out of that situation, she got the family that she loved, that she knew, out of that situation, and other people who wanted to go. You know, so why with somebody even and call it slave here. Like I said, only the white aunties of my biracial cousins would say something like that. They the only ones that would even speak like that. And my biracial cousins. Maybe they would say something like that too, but not nobody who looks like me. Not nobody who looks would never ever call their hair slave hair. You know. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them they don't even show their face and got the nerve to be talking about what other people look like. And then they use the excuse that well, I don't want anybody knowing where I'm at and doxing me. Whatever. You don't want anybody knowing how you live. I I I remember I used to get my on social media because I'm not with that keyboard. Like, don't let Facebook get you fucked up. I'm not with that stuff. I'm not with all of that keyboard warrior stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I know how to protect myself. They're trying to make it difficult now that you can't protect yourself. So all of these women on here talking about, yeah, go get a gun and stuff like that. Let me tell you, they're trying to make it where you can't even protect yourself now. The old man that they locked up in Texas, the old white man, 70 something years old, who shot an illegal immigrant for coming on his land, trespassing, and they put him in jail and refused to let him out. Then the guy from here, from New York, from the Dominican Republic, he actually went back to his country after they let him out of jail. He was accosted in his bodega by some black dude and his black girlfriend. Um, Trash people. I think in the Bronx. He was accosted. I think they had a gun or a knife or something. They threatened the man, came behind the cash register and everything. And the boyfriend was, I think it was over some about their food stamp card. Because it wasn't working or something like that. And he kept saying it's the wrong PIN number. And they was like, they got upset. So he started beating the man up. And it's all on video. It's all on video. He started beating the man up. And the man, you know, after a while getting beat up, he just pulled out his gun and he shot the dude. And when he shot the dude was taken out. And they put him in jail. They put him in Rikers Island, charged him with murder and everything. And then the people started protesting. I remember that the people started protesting, and they was like, y'all letting all the criminals out of jail, and somebody defending. Now nobody can defend himself. So he got out of jail finally on bail, and once he did that, he just left. He left the country. He went back to the Dominican Republic. So that's all right there, setting a precedent. I hear these so-called black women who I suspect are not black, telling these black women who got Negroid features like myself and nappy hair, telling them, yeah, go get you a gun and know how to use it and know how to shoot and la 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 la. But I'm telling you right now, the precedent is being set where you won't even be able to do that and protect yourself. So go ahead, go get your gun, learn how to shoot it, and then you protect yourself. If they're putting white people in jail and old senior citizens at that, and they're putting upstanding immigrant business owners in jail for protecting themselves after they was getting the shit beat out of them, and it's all on camera. If they're doing that, I don't know what makes you think, as a black woman who look like me with Negroid features and nappy hair, I don't know what makes you think that you're gonna get away with that, protecting yourself. Like, they're already setting a precedent for that. That's why I say y'all gotta watch what y'all say. Y'all over here talking about, yeah, that white man, he got $1.9 million for his fund. People donated that shit overnight. Nobody cares about a black woman like that. They still got Shanquella Robinson trying to get her justice. The United States don't even want to extradite those people. The Mexican government is waiting, like, You need to bring these people over here. We already got da 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 da. This is what we want to do. It's the American government that is procrastinating and holding up the justice for Shanquilla Robinson, I believe her name is. She's a young black woman, talented, beautiful, and they were jealous of her. These gay people and these mixed people and these black women were jealous of her. And that's another thing. It's not just black males that are dangerous. It's black femalians too. Like you gotta watch out for them. Like Lot's wife, unconcerned Ezekiel. You gotta look out. These salty bitches. They don't like you either. That's why they say some shit like you got Harriet Tubman slavery. They don't like you. They don't like you, and you steady supporting them, and they don't like you. They don't even like you. They don't even care that you getting murked by these people. They don't care. They don't care. They don't even care. They murked this girl. They was jealous of her. This was men and women jealous of her, just like the Kanika Jenkins thing. Jealous men and women. Like no, like you gotta watch out for these femalians too. It ain't just the manimals. It's these femalians. It was two bloodlines, and one of them are really hateful, salty, like the pillar of salt that Lot's wife turned into. Salty bitches. You gotta watch out. Like you have to. That poor girl. That poor girl, because she was murked by uh black gay people, and I heard one of them was the mixed race girl too. Jealous, like just jealous of her. And then when I heard people on social media talking about that poor girl, like, oh, I thought she had all this money, this and that and that. Like, why are you concerned about what money she had? These people murdered her in Mexico. Why are you concerned that she wasn't rich like you thought she was because she had her own hobby going on, making a little pocket change? Why does that concern you? How come those people that murdered her in another country doesn't concern you? How come American politics and the American government not extraditing those people back to Mexico to get justice served is not bothering you? Because they don't really care about these black women. They talk about they do. They just use them for likes and clicks. They using the dysfunction and the deaths of these women for likes and clicks. For likes and clicks. Yep. And to be monetized, you know, just to be monetized. Yep. That's why they'll come on here and say, well, I'm not gonna say certain things, I'm not gonna show certain things because copyright, because they want their shit monetized. What a shame, boy, I tell you. And they falling for the okie doke. Y'all better wake up and leave these salty ass bitches alone. Don't just think that these manimals are your enemies. These femalians are too. These same femalians that's telling you, you know, these same femalians full of it. But I did want to bring up Shanquilla Robinson. I did want to bring her up, but that whole thing is a mess because the government is not even extraditing those people. So that's how much they care about your government. Don't even care about you, black women. Why you telling these black women that you setting them up to get a gun and to protect themselves, and you don't even play politics. You don't even play politics. I'm telling you, be careful with that because they're setting the precedent now that you will go to jail. Now, they might let that white old man out of jail. They might let the Dominican dude out of jail so he can go back to his country. But they're not going to let you out of jail, black women. They're not going to let you out of jail. Yeah, you was defending yourself. It's all on videotape, but It was all on videotape about Shanquella Robinson. The government has not made a move yet to arrest those people and extradite them to Mexico. And Mexico, the government in Mexico is waiting for it. But it ain't happened yet. It ain't happened yet. And she didn't even fight. She didn't even do anything to protect herself. And there's a whole video on it showing her get her ass beat the shit out of unconscious. Yep. Yep. And even the government won't do anything about it. So you go ahead thinking that you're going to get you a gat and take somebody out because it's child. Well, I tell you, stay out of them spaces. Stay out of them spaces. That's what you do. Get yourself together. Stay out of them spaces. I know you can't get out of Blackistan. Can you get out? If anybody gotten out of Blackistan since that last video I made, please let me know. Let me know that you got out of Blackistan. Tell me what, you ain't got to give me an address. Tell me what white neighborhood you living in where none of your neighbors are black. I want to know where you living at where none of your neighbors are black, okay? Where you ain't got to see a black person unless they delivering your Uber Eats, all right? Well, I tell you. Let me know if you got out of Blackistan. Let me know. And I'm not talking to the immigrant people because we already know. We know. We already know. I've never, like, we already know as immigrants that it's already segregated. Because when I live, boy, I tell you, let me know if you got out of Blackistan. Let me know what neighborhood you live in where you're the only black person that they let you in. I want to know. Getting out of Blackistan, boy, I tell you. Blackistan is a state of mind. You can escape that state of mind by staying out of those spaces. But we're going to talk again. I'm going to get off this live right here. Sodom and Gomorrah. Visit my website at www.queenofheaven.earth and email me, info@queenofheaven.earth. And let's get this ministry started. Let's get some people up in there. All right, so until next week, y'all take care.